It's interesting. It's interesting to see that. I wonder who he considers. Who does Lane call Big Bro?
We'll get into some of that. 803-404-6100. Obviously, we'll get into the basketball game last night, 72-67. Clemson victory. South Carolina lets an 11-point lead get away from them in the second half. Opportunities were there. Just couldn't quite get it done. Now Lamont Paris and his team, they've got a good I think they've got a good feel. That is one thing I kind of take away from it is he should have a pretty good feel for what this team is. You had Colin Murray Boyles back last night. We'll get into all of that coming up later on this morning and throughout the morning. Again, if you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100, how you can do so, the Firehouse Subs text line or the Love Chevy phone lines. Let's get out to those Love Chevy phone lines where our guy, Gamecock Larry, is waiting patiently. Gamecock Larry, how you feeling this morning? Hopefully a little bit better today?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today. But I must have felt pretty bad last night because I missed both of them games. Still don't know who the women, I don't know whether they lost, but Jen told me the Gamecock men lost. But I think old Brownell, he got about a year's experience as far as experienced players on us. But we're gonna be okay. And old Rude Hall called me, and he didn't know what the score was. He's all, but I slept all night, Bill. I didn't get it. Well, I woke up a couple of times, maybe. Didn't get up till 5 o'clock. Feeling good. But I just want to know, everybody to know I thank you and I appreciate your prayers. Gamecock Larry's got a ways to go, but everything is going to be all right. As long as I got the good Lord on my side, 107.5, Jen, Bill, and Preston, and all the rest of them, I'm going to be all right. But I want to thank all of you for everything. I love all y'all, and I'm just from day to day. Tomorrow, nobody knows, but that's all right. We're going to be okay. All I got to say, I love all y'all. Go Gamecocks. Thank you. Bye-bye, Bill.
Okay, buddy. Good to hear from you this morning. Glad you're feeling a little bit better. Glad you're on the mend. Got to get you ready there for Christmas and make sure those liver pudding and grits are good and cooked on Christmas morning for you. So you just keep fighting in there. And it was good to hear from you. 803-404-6100. You can tell he went to bed early. Didn't have much of an opinion on the basketball game. I was kind of anticipating a little bit more of a breakdown from Gamecock Larry.
Well, sometimes you know that's selective. Sometimes you got to figure out what you want to conversate, and then if you don't need to have a conversation about it, you just let it ride.
Last night, again, South Carolina 72-67 loss. Preston, let's talk a little bit about this here for just a second. I got a lot that we're going to get to this morning, but this game in particular, it looked like South Carolina had all the opportunities in the world, and I don't know how you consumed this game.
That's a very interesting. Keep going because I do want to get to that
because South Carolina, it felt like was in control to me throughout the game, and obviously they get up 11. They're up 7 at half. Jump out to a great start. Great start. I think it was 10-2 right off the bat, if I remember correctly, and then Clemson roared back, and it felt like it set the tone that South Carolina could never quite run away from Clemson. That they would get these leads, and I just never felt that South Carolina was quite running away from Clemson and putting them away, and then Clemson kind of starts making shots. Things start to happen. Well played game. Only 8 turnovers for South Carolina, 10 for the Tigers. But Clemson starts getting some key rebounds when they needed second chance points. Michi Johnson scores 26 last night. Solid game from him. But it to me, and that's why I say that consumed it, it never felt like South Carolina ran away from Clemson. It felt like Clemson was always just right there hanging around, and they finally go on the run, take the lead, and pull away.
Well, it's interesting when you talk about how I consumed the game because I was at an event last night. It was a great event, the Richland County Player of the Year for high school football. So I was at that event for the beginning part of the game, and then for the next part of the game, I consumed it via radio. So I was listening to the game, and at that point, they had an 11-point lead, and I was listening to sort of the building and what was happening in the stadium, in the building via radio. But I wasn't watching the game. By the time I got home, the lead was starting to shrink.
Right.
And then I started watching the game from that point moving forward with my eyes. I say all that to say, I didn't see how the teams were squaring up at the beginning of this game. What I saw with my eyes was as the game was starting to sort of slip through the fingertips of the Gamecocks, and it looked to me like a team that the Clemson team had been in maybe in those spots before, and they sort of just kept playing through the storm. Whereas South Carolina got a little rocky. Not as if they got off their game plan, but they just there was a couple spots where they just didn't show up, and not in a bad way. It's just Clemson made a play and they didn't in a couple of moments. That's what I saw with my eyes. But it was very interesting listening to the game, which I love. One of my favorite things to do is listen to basketball, I think specifically, but listening to the game as opposed to seeing the game.
803-404-6100. We'll get into a little bit more of this game. Lane Kiffin doing a little trolling. We'll get into that. Some transfer portal news, not the good, kind of surprising news. We'll let you debate that. Although,
is anything surprising?
You know what? To go along with truth and honesty in college football, maybe we should ask, is anything surprising anymore? Might throw that one out there as well. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. We're all Christmased up. We got a little Christmas drop in after this. We're ready to go. Maybe Jen will serenade us with some Christmas. You ready to karaoke this morning?
You bet. Absolutely.
There we go. Okay, I feel better about the absolutely. We'll let Jen do a little sing. That'll just be our bumper music. Jen just singing Christmas carols when she comes back in.
Yeah, that's what we want, so everybody keeps that breakfast down.
There you go. Okay, 803-404-6100. You're listening to the trio of singers, Jen Jensen, Bill Gunner, and Preston Thorne. It's the early game.
Download the 107.5 The Game app and listen anywhere. The beach, the gym, and yes, even there. Go to iTunes or Google Play and snag the 107.5 The Game app. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Text and with proof credit call 888-320-6359 for details. Ho, ho, hold everything. Savings clause is coming to JT's Kia. JT'll stuff your stocking with savings. Thousands off new Kias. Telluride Sorrento Carnival. Save thousands in interest. Just 0.9%. Dream of a white Christmas, but make no payments till spring. Get 20% more for your trade, up to $6,000. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sKia.com. Kia season of giving back.
Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers, announcing a special diamond event that you're not going to want to miss. We're celebrating the fact that we now have our own growing chamber in the largest lab-growing diamond laboratory in the world by having a Labaganza event this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, December 7th, 8th, and 9th. We'll have beautiful loose diamonds up to 12 carats. That's right, 6-carat pairs, 7-carat rounds, 8-carat ovals, even amazing 12-carat emerald cut. We'll have diamond studs up to 8-carat total weight and diamond tennis bracelets and necklaces up to 10-carat total weight. Best of all, we'll have diamond jewelry to suit every budget with prices starting at just $199, and everything will be value priced with spectacular savings. We'll even have interest-free financing for qualified buyers. So come see us this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Get her the Christmas gift she deserves and save big at the Tradition Labaganza event, only at Traditions Fine Jewelers in Lexington on Sunset and Sandhills next to the fountain, where the Midlands get engaged.
Bill Gunner for my great friend, Dr. Dan Balknight with the Men's Clinic. The Men's Clinic is a local clinic with a well-respected physician and Dr. Balknight that will oversee your health care. It's not like programs you see online. This will be tailored to your individual needs. So contact the Men's Clinic today, 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS, or you can visit them on the web and learn more. mensclinicsc.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here with Ben Cato, owner of Cato's Power Equipment. You've heard me raving about my 30-inch Toro Time Master self-propelled lawnmower. Ben, I got to say,
Yard work. A little bit easier this summer, a little
Yeah.
bit more enjoyable, wasn't it?
Very, very easy, sir. Yes.
So, whether it's your yard, a family member's, or the whole neighborhood, it's kind of hard not to find yourself behind a lawnmower. But it doesn't have to be a chore. Cato's Power Equipment is built around making sure you love your lawn and the equipment you use to maintain it.
Ben, you, Jeremy, Matt, the rest of the team got me into the perfect mower, walked around the store. You guys had options for me, figured out the best one for what my yard was like. You delivered it.
Yeah, we're always happy to deliver lawnmowers.
Cut my mowing time in half, more time with the family, more time enjoying my yard.
That's what it's all about, Jay. Come see us at 4012 West Beltline Boulevard or online at catospowerequipment.com.
For sales, service, and advice, Cato's Power Equipment.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And for your early morning commute, we do have a report of an accident, Sumster Street at Gervais Street. So be careful in downtown Columbia if you are heading in that direction. As far as your forecast is concerned, it's going to be sunny today, 58 for that high. The overnight low, a little bit warmer than it is this morning. The overnight low, 36. Cloudy, 65 tomorrow. Come Saturday, clouds and 72. Rain and windy on Sunday. And looking for a high of 72. But right now, you're going to want to bundle up when you're heading out because it is brisk. 31 on the early game.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
and Jen Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.617 on a, as Jen just used and Preston and I agreed, brisk, cool December morning.
It was a walk out the house, turn back around, and get your coat.
Get the big
morning.
coat, not just get a coat.
Get the coat. Yeah, that's
Get
a
the
good,
coat.
better word. Yeah, it was a morning. I walk out, got a little overshirt on. I was like, yeah, I should be fine.
Yeah.
Turn back around. Let me go get the coat.
It was the big fluffy coat kind of morning. So if you're getting up and you're getting going,
fluffy coat morning.
Be prepared. Get dress accordingly. 803-404-6100. So Lane Kiffin, who I think just trolls out of love. I don't think he does it to be mean. A matter of fact, I actually think if Lane Kiffin trolls you, it means like you're in the cool kids club. I mean, we haven't seen him, to my knowledge. He hasn't trolled Vanderbilt.
No. Why?
Exactly.
That's called bullying.
Yes.
We don't need to do that.
He does this strictly out of love. What have you got?
Well, the way the internet works is sometimes you can't follow a storyline in chronological order. So sometimes you pick up on some stuff or you don't know what's happening. Then you have to go back, especially the way the new algorithm works on Twitter. Say all that to say, I saw a post from Lane Kiffin, and it was a post of strictly a golf cart with a lot of Gamecock signage on it. Gamecock symbols, Gamecock signs. It said Carolina football. It looked like the Gamecock was the golf cart was in a parking lot. My first thought, because I follow Lane and I see Lane's post, Lane likes to post things of locations that he's at. He'll post like small airports that he's at. So he might post Owens Field or something like that when he's going to visit a recruit. He might post a high school. And so my first thought was, oh, Lane is in Columbia for some reason. That was my first thought. Had nothing idea what was actually happening. Until later, when I discovered or I saw the internet showed me that one Antwain Wells was on the internet talking about his golf cart is missing. Now he says it was taken. Some might say it was repossessed. I don't know what's going on with the golf cart. It's not in his possession. And so then once I heard that, Then I had to go back to Lane and say, oh, Lane is out here trolling. Why? I don't know. But that seems to be the gist of this story. But you haven't seen any of this.
I had not.
See, and that's what
let me
that's
take
what
that
makes
back.
the internet
Let
awesome.
me take that back. I did see about the golf cart, and it's one of those things where I rolled my eyes severely, almost injured myself. Like rolled my eyes in a Jen Jensen fashion. And my first question is, because I didn't look, I'm not gonna lie, I was not about to waste time trying to follow up on this story, but I didn't know if it was his golf cart, if it was like a university issued golf cart. Why does he have a golf cart?
Good questions.
There was I did have questions, but again, it was of the things
Being
that
a
were
journalist.
on my it was, which I'm not. And so I just kind of let this one go. I did not see the Lane Kiffin trolling though, but yes, Juice Wells' golf cart, has it gone missing, or do we know exactly where it's at and it's back in the hands of its rightful owner, the University of South Carolina? And then let's ask the question: why does Juice Wells have a golf cart?
Well, that's interesting because this golf cart apparently played a role in, I guess, was an altercation at the Clemson game.
I've also heard
Juice.
that,
And
yes.
so that was the golf cart in question. So a lot of things swirling around this very branded golf cart. It's not like just your regular golf cart. Not even in golf cart you have in the neighborhood. It's very much branded, very customized, very recognizable as this specific one. And yeah, probably would not have been a story until our good friend Lane brings it to everybody's attention.
Now, the other thing, the Juice Wells situation is really, really, I think, almost becoming interesting and a side story. Like, I don't know what's true and what's not in this situation, because I feel like now Juice Wells is starting to troll the South Carolina fan base, because I guess this came to my attention yesterday with a Instagram story.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to go down a path of how old I am when it took me a minute to figure out what an Instagram story is and how it varies from a Facebook post or an Instagram post.
Bill, it's what, 6:25, 6:20 in the morning. I feel like you're speaking to your crew right here. I'm not sure anybody who's up listening to this has a very good grasp of all of these things. They might, but I feel like everybody who's listening to this is sort of in the same boat. So you're safe. It's a safe space.
All right, good.
But everybody who's technologically challenged, I think we're all in a safe space here.
So apparently he put an Instagram story out of him getting a haircut in the ops building. Mario Anderson was not cutting his hair.
He is the team barber.
He is.
Was the team.
I'm actually a little confused the way some of this has played out, that Juice Wells is actually being allowed still in the ops building. I have to be honest. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know if this was a old video of getting a haircut, but he called the South Carolina fan base crazy. And I'm kind of like, dude, do you realize how everything is played out? Like, let's have a little self-awareness on what you have done. And that brings me to my question to you, since we're going to go down this path. Do college football players have self-awareness?
No. Does any 19-year-old have self-awareness? 20? You think the 20-year-old walking around this earth has self-awareness, let alone a 20-year-old with immense talent, let alone another 20-year-old with maybe a decent amount of money in his pocket? You think that's the formula for self-awareness?
No self-awareness?
Oh, no. Impossible. I work with 19-year-olds every single day. None of them have self-awareness.
Okay.
And then when you add all of those things into the mix, no. But they all are highly aware of their image and their selves as far as what they project. So don't get anything confused that when they'll try and say like, oh, it's just a post. It don't mean. They know every single thing that they're putting up. They know why they put it on a story versus a reel versus a post on their timeline versus a tweet.
Does one like
Some
disappear?
Sometimes they'll do things on Snapchat versus going. They know everything. So they are very much understand what is happening. But as far as the consequences of what they're doing or the greater picture, no, don't count on a 19-year-old to know anything. Any of you all that have teenagers should understand that.
It makes me wonder, like back in your day, because I'm sure there were players that you that you were friends with, but the self-awareness was just not there. And I don't know if there's anybody that, without naming names and calling them out, that stood out that there was something like this. Because you didn't have, this is the odd thing. If you think back to when you played in that little period of football, what that locker room could have been like with social media. There's one player in particular, a position mate of yours, who uses Twitter or X to the extreme sometime, who I can imagine might have been even more vocal back then.
I am very glad that we did not have these outlets for some of my teammates because they might not be remembered as fondly in the world if they could have let their thoughts unfiltered into the world. Yeah, that's the tricky part, man, because for the most part, this is where the athletes live. This is where those people of that age live. And so it could be partly a joke. It could be just self-aware. It could be them just hanging out. You know, if you're getting your haircut, think about a typical haircut barbershop scene. You're probably saying stupid things, having ridiculous conversations, except they get to do all this stuff on camera and broadcast it to the world. So if Juice would have just said maybe that to the people in the barbershop, people might have laughed and whatever. But when it gets broadcast to the world, there's a whole nother set of circumstances that are involved. So firmly, squarely, I am very glad that we did not have these outlets when I was coming through there, because some of those dudes with social media would have been deadly.
Yeah. Yes. I can. I mean, Ja Morant can't even get it right.
Yeah, he's later, and
it almost makes you wonder the two things that each school now has to incorporate: financial counselor, social media counselor.
And they all do it. They all do it. They all have the conversation. They know these children have grown up with this. These young people have grown up with this, but come on, man, I'm not listening.
803-40.
Can't hear anything. I'm 20.
Yeah, we'll get into a little bit more. I do want to ask Preston in the next segment, because we'll let you listen to a little MJ Morris, the quarterback from North Carolina State who has elected to transfer out. We'll let you listen to a little bit of that, because I think that starts the question. And I'm not trying to be negative on anybody. I'm not trying to take shots at anybody, but our conversation from Tuesday on Lenora Sellers and now South Carolina, at least kicking the tires, I guess, on Brock Vandergriff. At least seeing.
I love that phrase.
Just, yeah. Yes, you're interested. Maybe we're interested too.
As
still a fourth grade note.
As one of my veteran coaches who's been in this profession a long time says, I won't call, but I'll take your call.
Yeah, there you go. We'll get into that a little bit. Truth in college football. Is it even possible? 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
Coming soon, the Game TV.
This is Jen for CHW Cabinetry, and when we had to completely renovate our kitchen due to those pipes that burst, it's hard to believe it's almost been a year. Ceiling, walls, cabinets, everything had to be taken out, even the flooring. And we found CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. They helped us lay out our new kitchen. They showed us options to make our kitchen as efficient and as functional as possible. And then they provided that photorealistic rendering, which looked like someone had just taken a picture of the kitchen that was yet to come. And that made choosing countertops and flooring, paint, backsplash, all that stuff so much easier. They have a job site guarantee that you have with every installation, and that really helped the process move along so smoothly. And honestly, we really are so thrilled with our new cabinets and the way our kitchen looks. If you need cabinetry for your home, workspace, or even an outdoor kitchen, visit CHW Cabinetry. Call them 803-520-6837. Make sure to tell them Jen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
They're faster than you think. That means they'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes your fancy designer half-calf heavy cream no-whip mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while their fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Let's text and with proof credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. Ho, ho, hold everything. Savings clause is coming to JT's Kia. JT'll stuff your stock in with savings. Thousands off new Kias. Telluride Sorrento Carnival. Save thousands in interest. Just 0.9%. Dream of a white Christmas, but make no payments till spring. Get 20% more for your trade, up to $6,000. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sKia.com. Kia season of giving back.
The holidays are upon us.
And
all the people in your life need a happy place to come and be together.
And?
All you have to do is point. And all of your clutter, junk will disappear. And you'll have a big, open, happy home where you can get together with all the people you love.
Now I get it.
Out with the dull, lifeless junk.
In with sparkling, lively people.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Unleash the delight.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Hey, it's Chris Clark. Garnet Trust has an anonymous donor who is matching all new contributions to Garnet Trust up to $1 million from now until December 20th. Visit garnettrust.com to contribute, get matched, and help build the best NIL program in the country.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional roasted turkey or spicy turkey tacos, your go-to shrimp cocktail, or your first Cajun risotto, Kroger has all the freshest ingredients to embrace your traditions. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties are just $3.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Pete Wine Pool and Spa is your hometown hot tub dealer where sales and service go hand in hand. If you've been thinking about buying a hot tub, come check out our full line of hot tubs and explore the benefits of hydrotherapy, which includes stress relief and increased blood flow and promotes overall health and well-being. Models start as low as $5,000. Pete Wine Pool and Spa, 5541 Sunset Boulevard. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PeteLWinePools.com.
The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner. 107.5 The Game, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach, 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And taking a peek at the highways, or what's going on out on the highways this morning. It appears that things look to be pretty good right now, so let's hope that it stays that way. And as far as your forecast is concerned, 58 is going to be where we top out today under sunny skies. Overnight low 36, 65 for your high tomorrow, and Saturday 72, Sunday 72. But Sunday is when we are looking to maybe see some rain and some windy conditions. But then by Monday, the sun's back, but the temperatures drop to 55. We'll be in the 50s most of next week. But right now, it's brisk. You do want to bundle up. 31 on the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.33 on a Thursday morning. As we get closer and closer and closer to Christmas. Did you get your shopping done yesterday? I feel like that's always the question you have to ask. Anything done yesterday?
I did get a return sent back. So I guess that counts as part of shopping. But okay. Yeah, it's starting to – I live out in the Northeast, and I live very close to the areas where a lot of the shopping gets done, and you can feel the streets starting to heat up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lexington was pretty nasty yesterday.
You can feel the energy coming up a little bit.
I agree.
803-404-6100. How you can weigh in this morning. We're going to talk some college football, probably more so in the 7 o'clock hour. Truth in college football. Mm-hmm. You've been a part of it. Mm-hmm. Now you're watching it. Mm-hmm. Even yesterday, Mario Anderson. Truth in college football. We'll get into that. But let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Vern wants to weigh in this morning. Vern, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Doing good. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Mark Parrish. Where's he from?
Where's he from?
Yes. Where's he from?
Was it Ohio? I have to go back.
Yeah, he's a Midwest. He's a Midwest guy.
Yeah.
He's more than a Midwestern. and stuff like that. What is so special about Clemson? They don't want to beat Clemson. This dude last night, he had Clemson eating out of his hand. Clark had P.J. Hall eating out of his hand. What is wrong with Carolina coaches and stuff? I want to see Clemson beat because Clemson is a normal team. I'm tired of sitting there watching Clemson come out on top when they should be on the bottom and stuff. This makes no sense. Why can't it be like Don Staley? Why can't it be like her?
Well, it helps that Clemson basketball's been in the dumpster for a long time. You need.
I'm talking about what Bill. I'm talking about what happened last night, sir. I'm not talking about that.
But
ain't no way Carolina should have lost that game last night. Anybody who know anything about any sports, you don't have to know about basketball. You could know anything about any sport. It's time for Carolina to put their foot down and they start with Ray Tanner. Ray Tanner should have come out there and fire him last night. He was there. What the problem is? Boy, I'm sick of Clemson. Y'all have a blessed day. Here, bye-bye.
Thank you, Vernon. You have a blessed day too. I know. I tell you what, sometimes that garnet bleeds strong, and you get really frustrated because you don't want to see those orange folks.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what theme they had going on at Little John yesterday with the traffic cone.
It took a little while.
What's that? Somebody's a traffic cone as a defender. What were we doing here?
Apparently, this is what Derek Scott said last night, because I was like you. I left this event that I was at and went home, and so I called just a few minutes of Derek last night. Apparently, not like recently. This is the way Derek explained it, but within the last 6 or 7 years, it was something about Brad Burnell referred to his team as gritty or something. So it was construction work, like, the gritty construction worker. Yeah, it made no sense. I didn't even catch it on the television until I really got home and was able to watch it.
I saw it immediately. I was like, okay, I saw one person. I saw a group of them doing it. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. No, last night, you look at it, and South Carolina 10 of 30 from 3-point range, really outside of Meechie Johnson. The rest of the team did not shoot well. BJ Mack, you're not going to win many games, if any, when BJ Mack is 0 of 6 from 3-point range and 3 of 13 from the field. He struggled last night shooting the basketball. Stephen Clark last night, 3 of 5 from the field, had 10 points, dealt with some foul issues, ended up with 3 fouls, but also got a little banged up there later in the game. Again, Talon Cooper last night. Talon Cooper has been really good. 3 assists to just 1 turnover last night, but only 5 points. He didn't shoot the ball a lot, only 2 of 4. To be honest with you, Meechie and BJ Mack, again, last night, 11 of 29, but that's because Meechie was 8 of 16 and 6 of 10 from 3-point range.
I got a philosophical question for you as more of a basketball person.
Boy.
Is there much of a value in having a lead in basketball, especially as it's earlier in the game? I know because people are going to say, they did lose a lead, but in my thought, it feels like a basketball game is going to be sort of played to a score regardless. And it doesn't matter when the points come, and they're all going to. Does that make sense to you?
It's not like football in that you can drain the clock as much. It used to be more that way years. I don't even know when they went from 45 seconds to 35 seconds with the shot clock. Now, that's the college and NBA level. High school, you get a lead, you can go into, and maybe that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day with a guy like Brian Rosefield or my old coach Bailey Harris or Tim Whipple or any of the coaches around here, Zach Norris, how they feel about a shot clock in in high school basketball. Obviously it can change and dictate. Having a lead can change and dictate what you want to do a little bit, and you obviously can drain the shot clock much like you can run a play clock down in football. But the thing is when you run the play clock down, you run the play, and then if you get a first down, you get a whole new set of it. It's a lot harder to go get an offensive rebound and run another 30 seconds off the clock and run what would essentially be about a minute off the clock while the other team doesn't get any offensive possessions, whereas in football you can run 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes off of the clock. But it's still, to me, last night, what it comes down, South Carolina didn't shoot the ball well. They were 22 of 61, 36%. But again, Meechie Johnson shoots 50%, 8 of 16. South Carolina last night, I just mentioned it, 10 of 30 shooting the 3. Well, Meechie Johnson was 6 of 10.
So my key to the game was Meechie Johnson shooting well. He did that. However, I didn't account for everybody else having a poor night.
Right.
And so I guess if everybody has an average night, Michi has the night that he does, then the team probably comes closer to winning the game.
I think my opinion is if you get an average night from BJ Mack, South Carolina holds on for that victory. The Gamecocks 13 of 19 from the foul line as well. You go to the numbers for Clemson again, 25 of 56 from the field, 44.6%. Clemson not as reliant on the three-pointer last night, 8 of 18 from three-point range. The one stat that does jump at me that I think you're going to be interested to kind of follow as the season goes along, again, is the rebounding. It was pretty even last night, 42-38 in terms of rebounds last night for the two teams. That's one that I looked at the beginning of the year. I know some people have weighed in this morning and asked about Josh Gray, just 2 minutes. Maybe you could have put him in there a little bit more. Maybe you could have gone with him, but even Vern, as Vern was saying, Stephen Clark was playing a pretty good game. Got a little banged up there later on in the game. Just played just 16 minutes, but a lot of different things. I think that's a game, in all honesty, that Lamont Paris will watch the film. And I know as a basketball coach, maybe as a football coach too, I've never been a football coach, but as a basketball coach, you go, if I'd have just maybe done this at this moment, I change the direction of the game. If I make this sub, if we make that basket, here's a basket that if we make, maybe it knocks them out. I feel like that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, we know Lamont is sort of laid back in his style and the way he coaches, but I don't know whether Michi missed the defensive assignment or he didn't box out. I don't know exactly what happened, but he caught an earful from Lamont going into a timeout, and it was one of those things where you could see Michi say like, "All right, coach, I got you," and Lamont was not letting up on him. So I mean, I saw a little bit of that the fieriness that you want to see out of a coach when necessary. Not all the time, not unnecessary, but it seemed like that situation warranted it, and he was giving it to Michi for sure.
Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines real quick. Jack wants to weigh in on the men's game. Jack, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Jack will be calling right back. There was operator error.
Jack, give us a call back. We'll actually hit a break. Sounds like Jen decided she wanted to just hang up on you and make it difficult for you this morning.
Yep, those buttons are really close together and just nailed it.
Hit the road, Jack.
Oh, there you go. Not intentionally, but
please call back.
I think he was positive about the basketball game last night.
Oh yeah, please, yeah. Well, please call back.
Please call back.
Yes, please call back. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
Be listening to the game for your chance to win a family 4-pack to go see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra at Colonial Life Arena Friday, December 8th. You can purchase tickets by going to livenation.com.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman must have thought, take that, Steve Cohen, after last night's blockbuster trade brought superstar lefty slugger Juan Soto and Gold Glove outfielder Trent Grisham to the Bronx and dispatched 4 pitchers and a backup catcher to San Diego. While winning World Series remains paramount, winning the back pages of the New York tabloids matters as well this time of year. I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports
Hey, this is Travis Kelce, NFL tight end and proud member of the Lowe's home team. Lowe's knows when you've got the best price, you've already won. That's why we offer the lowest price guarantee. If you find a better price online or in-store, we'll match it. Now you can score on the top brands from the Lowe's home team picks, like Scotts, LG, and DeWalt. So take on your projects with confidence. Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retail partner of the NFL.
Price match applies to the same item, current price of qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, 2 perennial AFC powers tangle as the New England Patriots march into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon, live from Pittsburgh. It's the Patriots and the Steelers on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Save the date. Join Canty Foundation Specialists and the United Way of Kershaw County on February 24th in Camden for the Caring Hearts Benefit. There will be live music by the Mike Veal Band and Camden's own Megan Davis. Dance the night away, enjoy an open bar, and savor food catered by Lil Fritz. Canty Foundation Specialists and the UWKC are coming together to raise funds for New Day Transitional Housing, helping families get a fresh start and a second chance. Tickets are available at Eventbrite under Caring Hearts Benefit or UWKC.net. Let's make a difference together.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The kids' berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
This year, Staples will not be celebrating the holidays. Instead, we're celebrating the holiday deals with amazing savings for the holiday season. Save 50% on custom holiday cards, save 50% on custom invitations, and save 50% on custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. During Staples holiday deals, it's not about the ho, ho, ho. It's about saving dough, dough, dough. Save 50% on custom cards, invitations, and photo gifts today at Staples. Ends 12/16. Visit staples.com/print for more details.
Early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Oh boy, Jen is dancing. You can always go check that out on our live stream. Go to youtube.com, search 107.5 The Game.
Better than singing.
Click join, subscribe. Well, I don't think TSO really sings, but you can find out for yourself. Right now, caller number 4. We'll just go caller number 4. You can win a family 4-pack of tickets to Trans-Siberian Orchestra Friday night, 7:30, Colonial Life Arena. So all you that get up nice and early with us, and we never give you a chance to win prizes in the 6 o'clock hour. We're doing it now, right now. Caller number 4, 803-404-6100. You can win a family 4-pack of tickets every hour. Well, excuse me, we're going to give them away every hour. So good news
during
for you.
our show. Yeah.
But
because we're special.
We are. We truly are. We are. One of us is more special than the other.
I was just...
But you can take that a lot of different ways. 803-404-6100. Just cross your fingers when you call that Jen does not accidentally hang up on you, because if you're the lucky winner and she hangs up on you, I can do nothing for you. If you don't win this time, we'll give you a chance for more tickets coming up in the 7 and the 8 o'clock hour. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Jack, cross your fingers. Hope that Jen gets you on properly this time. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, gentlemen. Ma'am, good morning to you all. I'm calling in because of the basketball game. Man, I honestly, I really enjoyed that game. That was a good ball game. It's a real good ball game. I don't know who that guy was who just had called in all mad and upset, but he must have didn't watch the game. The boys played. What I like about them, they played as a unit. They played. I mean, whomever Lamont put in there, the defense was awesome. Clemson just won it at the end of the game. I mean, they won. They came out to be the better team last night. I guarantee you, if they would have played 2 out of 3, Carolina beat 2 of them. You know, we just had a bad night of shooting, and you got to give it a break. It happened in the second half. I always say the second half is where it counts, and we fell off the button. But the guys, I really, really enjoyed the way they played. They play as a unit. And you didn't have a special person had to shoot, a special person had to do this or that. They just had a bad night of shooting. I'm looking forward for those guys to have a real good season. And Lamont, if they get rid of him, something ain't right. So I don't know where he's coming from. I don't see why we always have to get rid of a coach when we lose a ball game. Hang in there. Ride. Take the ride with them. Let's have fun. Enjoy the season while it's going on now. They're playing real good ball. That's all I have to say.
Appreciate the phone call, Jack. I think Clemson's a good team. I feel like I'm doing this. I feel like what we're about to do here for a minute is the same thing we did after the North Carolina football game. And I don't know if we got validated in that or not. I still have no clue what North Carolina is in football. And the season's over. Sorry. I don't know if we'll ever figure it out. I think Clemson is a good basketball team. I think they've got a fantastic chance to be very competitive in the ACC and get through that league and get to the NCAA tournament, which would validate bringing Brad Burnell back for another year. I think Brad Burnell is a really good coach. I don't know if he's always had the talent, and then there's been issues at other times. I don't think that's a loss last night that you'd be ashamed of. What that loss has to do, though, and this is the good part about basketball, where there is, doing quick math, about 22 other games to be played, Preston. You got to learn from it, because South Carolina had every opportunity to put Clemson away and win that basketball game, and they didn't do it. Clemson hung around. All of a sudden, Clemson made shots consecutively. South Carolina went really cold, and I think the better team won. But to Jack's point, that was a really good, fun basketball game.
And that's the point I want to echo. Even if it felt like I told at the beginning at the 6 o'clock hour, the game there was some juice to the game. There was intensity on both sides, effort on defense. You saw it felt like a mid-season game. It didn't feel like an early game or anything like they weren't working out the kinks. And as Jack said, sometimes you come up on the short end. That's the part of competing. You don't win every game. I think the team executed the game plan. They played the game plan. They just didn't execute well enough. And that happens during a game. When I finished watching the game, there's no such thing as a moral victory. We've gone over that over and over again. But after watching that game, I felt like I had an idea of who the team was, and I felt even more confident moving through the season that this team is going to compete and win some games that they're not supposed to this year.
They have to shoot well, and I've said that there will be a game.
They have to shoot well. They have to shoot better. It's not even the case. Remember back to the games last year when they beat Kentucky, they had to have this amazing shooting night to kind of win. They just have to shoot better. I'm not even sure they have to shoot lights out to win some games that they're not supposed to.
I do think, to what you said, that there's going to be a night. I'm kind of scrolling the schedule real quick, and Kentucky might be the perfect example because South Carolina play Kentucky January 23rd at Colonial Life Arena. That South Carolina will win a game that they're not supposed to because they'll be at home where they're comfortable and they'll shoot lights out, and the other team won't be able to do anything with it. I also think the likelihood right now still for this team that they will lose a game that they're probably not supposed to because of something like last night. I don't put losing to Clemson in the you shouldn't have done that category. That would be this coming Saturday at noon when you play East Carolina.
If you didn't watch the game and you just saw the final 72-67, you would say that seems about right. The only problem is most of us watched the game. You felt like we had a lead, had a couple opportunities to really expand the lead, and we didn't do that.
Yeah, and you were cold down really when it mattered most. This goes back to your point about playing with a lead. You've got to finish the game, and
that's a skill, though.
South Carolina has, for the large part. I mean, in the two contests where they needed to do that, Virginia Tech and Grand Canyon, they were able to finish the game. They were able to find a way down the stretch, make a couple free throws here and there, make a key three-pointer. Last night, that didn't happen. And for the first time this season, they faced a little adversity, obviously being on the road, the true road test, not like what happened with Grand Canyon in Arizona, but a true road test. And it just, I don't know if it got to them. I don't know if they felt a little pressure and it got to them down the stretch. I'm not a believer, and Preston, you can kind of speak to this better. I'm not a believer that college athletes get winded. There's the training. I mean, like, it's one thing to get tired, but I don't think that necessarily they just wore out last night. I just think Clemson turned up the defensive pressure just enough there at the very end.
So they might not have gotten winded, but the idea of playing the whole game at that level of intensity, and that's where it comes to being able to finish the game. Clemson did feel like they had, like you just alluded to, a little bit extra in the tank to make a couple more plays at the end of the game.
I'm not going to get down on this team just yet.
Yeah, I don't feel that way at all.
They're 7-1. I do think this is a massive win coming up when you go back on the road to Greenville, North Carolina, take on East Carolina on Saturday. We'll talk more about that. Obviously, more to get into from last night's game, but we'll also get into some college football. Mario Anderson. Okay. Well, we'll dive into this. Is there honesty in college football? We'll talk about it. Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. I tell you what, this is the kind of morning you need your heating unit working properly. And thank goodness AAA Heating and Air came out to my house about, February of last year, put a brand new heating and air unit in. And guess what? This past summer, the air conditioner worked great. Now, I'm expecting the heating unit to work just as well. You need to do the same. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. And if you're 62 years of age or older, you can get a complimentary heating unit checkup. So when you need to cut the heat on, you want to make sure it's working, and AAA wants to make sure it's working as well. So call Roy and Dana Finley today. Line up a complimentary heating unit checkup if you're 62 years of age or older. That's 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important, like dinner with loved ones. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
Plus, text entitled with approved credit card 866-243-4623 for details.
It's the most wonderful buy of the year.
You'll be singing about savings during the sale of the year at JT's Dodgeland and JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. 12,000 off new Jeeps. Your stocking will be stuffed when you save 12 grand on new Rams. Chargers and Challengers 6,000 off. Get 2.9% for 72 months. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sCars.com. Wrap up the year sales event.
And now the sounds of football from Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. Enjoy the taste of football too, with hand-tossed pies, hoagies, wings, meatballs, hot pretzels, and over 100 beers from around the world. Mellow Mushroom, in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, where saving is always the name of the game. The lowest price, guaranteed, or they'll pay you $1,000. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
Get your home insanely clean with Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Call now to get 3 rooms cleaned for only $129. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, you can get your hallway cleaned for free. Easily schedule online at ZerustColumbia.com.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And taking a peek at your traffic conditions early this morning, things aren't looking too bad out there, and we'll be thankful for that. However, we do have a report of a gas leak. Broad River Road near I-20. Gas line was cut around Long Creek Drive, so there could be vehicles in that area kind of impacting traffic flow. Again, that's Broad River Road near I-20. And that forecast, 58 for the high today, overnight low of 36, 65 tomorrow. And overnight low of 46, so getting a little bit warmer in the mornings. Come Saturday, 72 under cloudy skies, rain and wind for Sunday, 72, and then back into the 50s by the start of your work week next week. But right now, you do want to bundle up for sure because it is chilly. It's 31 on the early game.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Michi Johnson here, South Carolina point guard, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter.
I love me some me.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
I don't yuck anybody's yums.
And Jen Jensen.
Let's play a little game real quick.
Boy.
Jen, somebody calls you and says, Bill's coming on with us. Bill Gunner's coming on with us later. How should we refer to him?
Schmo.
There you go.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Fine. I'm the one that can't do it. Kids, don't be like me. Be more like Jen.
Be tough.
Be tough. That's right. Unlike me, be tough.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$7 a.m. on a Thursday morning. And I need to apologize. We've talked a lot about the men's game. Oh, yeah, the women played last night, too. I'm legitimately starting. How should I phrase this? Do you know what the score of the women's game was last night? Let me start by asking that.
It was 60-something to a lot less at one point when I saw.
60-something to a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that you say that out loud, I really feel like at one point it was 60-12. But do you know what the final was last night?
I don't.
104-38. It's why we continue to forget to mention and give them their roses this morning as well, because it's getting back to the point of I guess I have too many days growing up of EA Sports college football.
Simulate?
Well, no, not simulate, but like you'd play your schedule, and then because you'd built your team up to be so good, you had to find like the 3 best non-conference games to play. So, you'd play like 2, 3, 4, and then you'd end up, then you'd get into I'd play South Carolina, and then I'd get to the conference game and have to play Vanderbilt, and it'd be like 77-0. And I feel like that, like if they don't play an elite team, you're just like, yeah, I'm checked out on this game because they're about to win by 70.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just what it's going to be.
Like, I'm looking at the rest of it. They play Utah, who's ranked number 11 on Sunday, 2:30 ESPN. So, okay, tune in, have a great time. Basketball Hall of Fame Women's Showcase game. It's up in Connecticut. That one, all right, you're like, yeah, okay, good. They play somebody competitive. A week from Saturday, they play Presbyterian. If I'm Presbyterian, I'm seeing if the bus is working. What are the rules and regulations for us to get paid for playing this game while maybe only showing up for the first half?
You got to get it. We got to have a running clock. We got to make sure that we all get pictures, autographs from Coach Staley. We got to get something out of this deal.
Yeah.
And you just get the experience of playing on the court. You're like, and
do you? Is that the experience you want?
Yeah. In years in the future, when these women are in the working world doing something else, you'll be like, you know what? You see Chloe Kitts? You see her up there? I played against her. They're gonna be like, you did? Jane from accounting? Yeah, that was me. I played against her.
Jane from accounting. Yeah. The women last night, 104-38. I mean, I'll be honest. Again, at one point, I think on Twitter, I saw it was maybe 60-12 seems right.
That's when I saw it. I was like, yeah, that sounds
at halftime. At halftime, it was 51-12. So it wouldn't shock me if they came out on a 9-0 run. I could be mixing numbers together and not remembering, but it was. Let's just put it. All you had to do was look very early and be like, okay, no scare from Morgan. State tonight.
You just check real quick, make sure all's good, everybody's safe. Everything's taken care of. What's curious to me is I wonder what Coach Staley and crew are working on in those specific games. Are they trying to run specific sets? Are you trying to get something accomplished defensively? Is there I know there is an objective. I just wonder what it is when you're going into those types of games.
803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in if you want to do so. I guess
also it's fun not to practice against yourselves anymore.
And that's kind of what this is at times. I mean, last night, this is actually wildly impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 12 women that played last night, only Ashlyn Watkins did not play in double digits. That's actually, for anybody that's ever coached, no matter what the score of the game is, to get all your players about even minutes is a wildly impressive thing by Dawn Staley. That's a lot harder to do than I think people realize at that level. I mean, you didn't have Tessa Johnson last night played 26 minutes. Ashlyn Watkins. That's the high. Ashlyn Watkins played 9. Last night you had 1, 2.
So that shows coach and crew were locked in. Like I said, they were trying to get everybody in the game. And I'm sure each player has a specific thing they're trying to do when they're playing in games like that.
6 players last night in double figures. Again, 104-38. So, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Good for them. 803-404-6100. We've been talking a lot about the men's basketball game last night, 72-67 loss. This is the good thing. You learn from it. And now on Saturday, noon game, South Carolina should be favored up in Greenville against East Carolina. How do they bounce back? And that's the thing. This loss doesn't hurt South Carolina. It's not going to hurt them at all. If you go and you can finish out the non-conference 12-1, starting on Saturday, you beat East Carolina, you beat Winthrop, you beat Elon, you beat Florida A&M, and Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern's the 5th. You win those games and you're 12-1, and you get to 500 in conference. That would be 21 victories. 21-10. It's going to put you non-conference a little soft, and it depends what those 9 conference games, conference wins are, and how you finish in February. You get to 21 wins, you're talking NCAA tournament bubble. You probably have to go to the SEC tournament, win a game or 2, but that's the good thing about last night. You learn from it and you develop. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines real quick. Ray wants to weigh in on the game last night. Ray, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Well, I'm a little irritated. I watched that game last night. Carolina looked good in the first half. The second half, we had a little bit of a lull, but, we also had some really crappy officiating. It seemed like every time we come close to a Clemson player, we got a foul called, but they could hack and mug our guys under the basket with no call at all. It just, I've never seen a team that could play 5-on-8 and come out on top.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the phone call. I will say last night, Clemson called for one more, per stats, Clemson called for one more foul than South Carolina. South Carolina 15 fouls last night. Clemson was 16. I thought early on, to his point, actually, there was a sequence early on, Preston, in which it was physical. I mean, PJ Hall got smashed in the lane and there was no call. And I was like, oh, they're letting him play tonight. To his point, now late down the stretch, maybe you could have looked here or there at some different calls. Last night, only one guy getting into foul trouble, 4 fouls on the night, and that was Ian Shefflin, the 6'8" junior for Clemson last night, had 4 fouls. But
his hair is annoying.
We were also talking about guys who just physically, like,
there were two all.
He physically last night just looked, for lack of the word my grandmother would use, frumpy.
Was it
like he kind of climbed out of bed at about 7:45. I was like, I got to play a basketball game in 15. It looked like something that I would have done for an 8 a.m. AAU basketball game.
Was it the undershirt?
Just everything.
Just the hair.
Just the hair.
Curly hair.
He had the look of a guy. And he played good last night.
He played really well too. I think maybe that was a little bit more annoying.
This
guy.
Well, that's the YMCA older guy who's just giving it to you. And you're like, what is it? 12 and 12 for Shefflin last night, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 24 minutes of action. He really, kind of to your point, was as big a difference maker as any player Clemson had. The other young man last night that shot the ball really well from them, Chauncey Wiggins, with 15 last night. I believe I heard correctly that was his career high for him.
Of note, my wife and I, as she was listening to the game, she said Chauncey. Chauncey's another one of those names where I'm assuming he's named after somebody. I don't know how many Chaunceys we're making very much in the world. So, those are the things that I pay attention to as I'm watching the game. So, yeah, Chauncey, I need to know whether you're a junior or you're named after an uncle or somebody. Because I don't think in 20, what year was Chauncey probably born? 2004, 2006-ish? I don't know what the number of Chaunceys were made that year.
803-404-6100. A couple of y'all weighing in. We'll get Jen to check on this. A couple people weighing in, and we'll check on some traffic here. It sounds like there's a bad wreck, I-26 East at I-20, backing of vehicles. We'll get Jen to check in on that as well. We'll also get into, we've been teasing it, and we'll do it in the next segment. Honesty in college football. Mario Anderson said he was coming back. We all assumed that was South Carolina. Last night, it popped out that Mario Anderson is likely to enter the transfer portal. There is, I think, still some uncertainty with this situation with Mario Anderson. I want to say that I was surprised, but also at this point, I'm not sure I'm surprised by anything. We'll get your take on that. We'll play this audio from MJ Morris, the North Carolina State quarterback, and let you hear that when we come back, because that's interesting as to now the relationship between coaches and players with the ability to use the transfer portal. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game.
Ever been on this date?
You're a good-looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine.
And thought, man, I'd rather be listening to the game right now. Welcome in to the afternoon show. Alongside Elijah Campbell, I'm Jay Phillips. Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the game app. Sure, you may no longer be with that person anymore, but you'll never be without the game again. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios, this is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional roasted turkey or spicy turkey tacos, your go-to shrimp cocktail, or your first Cajun risotto, Kroger has all the
I'd forgotten to move it because we missed. Let me see what I can do.
fresh for everyone.
Save now on 80% lean Angus ground chuck. 16-ounce packages are only $3.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, I'm Erica, and if you want to lose weight and fix your metabolism, then this is the program for you. I'm down 30 pounds in 7 weeks. My metabolism is alive again, and I feel great. This system will not let you down.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Pete Wine Pool and Spa is your hometown hot tub dealer where sales and service go hand in hand. If you've been thinking about buying a hot tub, come check out our full line of hot tubs and explore the benefits of hydrotherapy, which includes stress relief and increased blood flow and promotes overall health and well-being. Models start as low as $5,000. Pete Wine Pool and Spa, 5541 Sunset Boulevard. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PeteLWinePools.com.
Plus, text title with approved credit card 66243-4623 for details.
It's the most wonderful buy of the year.
You'll be singing about savings during the sale of the year at JT's Dodgeland and JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. 12,000 off new Jeeps. Your stocking will be stuffed when you save 12 grand on new Rams. Chargers and Challengers, 6,000 off. Get 2.9% for 72 months. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sCars.com. Wrap up the year sales event.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And take a look at the traffic conditions out there this morning. Highway 1 at Oak Drive, we do have an accident there. A gas leak, Broad River Road near I-20, so it could be a variety of vehicles there as well. And on I-26 eastbound, right there at Malfunction Junction, about a 6-car pileup, so things are a mess going through that area. So be careful there as well. And we're looking for a high today of about 58 under sunny skies. 65 tomorrow, 72 on Saturday. Could see some rain and wind on Sunday. Right now, 31 on the early game.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach
and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Preston here, back with Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen. The early game. We got a lot of conversation to have about college football, telling the truth. But first, let me tell you about my friends at Absolute Glass. The premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. Your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. They'll come out to your location, and they'll give you a free quote. That means if it's a cracked windshield, there's no problem. They'll come to you and replace it, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. Now, if you're at home and you're looking around, you're putting up your decorations, you're trying to figure out what you can do to your house during this time, you might call the folks at Absolute Glass. It could be windows, it could be mirrors, shower enclosures. They can take care of all of that. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. It's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. Bill, we've been having conversations about the truth in college sports. Is it a thing? Is it a possible idea? And obviously, before we get, that's a big conversation. But I think more of the conversation, you say, are you surprised? What is the level of surprise with the most recent news of Mario Anderson, I guess, possibly entering the transfer portal? What's your level of surprise? 5, very shocked. 1, not at all.
10. 10 because the only thing I saw him doing, which I would have completely understood, we kind of debated this, discussed this, especially the back half of the season, is if he left the University of South Carolina, it would be to go pursue the NFL. I mean, at least today now, there's a lot to do on this Mario Anderson situation. Let's start with this real quick. As of at least 7/18 on December the 7th, literally as we sit here, he is not officially in the transfer portal.
Okay.
It was reported by On3 Sports yesterday that he has intentions to enter the transfer portal. Both Chris Clark, I believe Wes Mitchell as well, but I believe Chris Clark and J.C. Sherbert with the Big Spur, Chris with Gamecock Central, have both reported that this is stupid. I'm sorry. This is stupid. Both sides are negotiating.
Okay.
That's the best way I can put it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And that's an awful way to describe what's happening in college athletics, but that there are ongoing negotiations between Mario Anderson and South Carolina to maybe save the day. With that said, let me put another little report. It's out there. It is being reported that Arkansas transfer running back Rocket Sanders, who has a relationship and was recruited by Justin Stepp, he was recruited as a wide receiver. I remember when South Carolina recruited him as a wide receiver. He went to Arkansas and developed into a running back. And obviously, Rocket Sanders also has a relationship with Dow Loggins from his time there. But you were lining up, Mario Anderson is lining up to be the starter. Now, the only way I would see him transferring is if he's thinking about his body, because I remember covering the Tank Bigsby recruitment, and this is really when it became more of a popular thing to talk about, the fact that these running backs want to be paired with another running back so that their body is not used, if that makes sense. You're splitting carries. Like it used to be, oh, I want to go there so I get the ball all the time. Now these elite running backs are going, well, who else do you have coming in? Because I want to split carries with somebody, and I don't want to use up my body. That's why Georgia's been so successful. It really is. I've talked to people about this on the recruiting trail. Georgia's been so successful landing 3 or 4 5-star running backs almost, is because those guys know I'm going to get my opportunities to showcase my ability, but at the same time, I'm not going to have 25, 30 carry games. And Mario Anderson did, I believe, have 3 25 carry games this year. 25 plus is what I should say. I do wonder about that, Preston, but still, I don't know if that's enough to make someone transfer. Like, he's going to be the lead back, and maybe I don't think he's afraid of somebody coming in and taking his position. I just find this all very odd. I have seen where people have reported this is a bit of an NIL deal situation where he wants a better NIL deal, and we have to address that because that is the new era of college football.
Yeah, and like I said, for all of us Gamecocks who are kind of disappointed or surprised or whatever this made, did you send a Christmas card to the folks at Newberry last year? Did you send a condolences card to them when they lost their All-American elite running back, and that program suffered because he left to go there? It is the new landscape. But you bring up a really good issue, which seems to be that we've talked about the NFL running back value, and there's only so many hits that an NFL running back body can take. You go back to that last Clemson game. There were questions about Mario's health during that game. He's had beat up things. So it seems to be, I would think, that bringing in another running back to sort of split the carries, lighten the load a little bit for you would be ideal. However, if there's another situation that is more ideal, or if running backs in this day and age are looking to maximize their value in college because they've looked at the NFL landscape and know that that is not very lucrative for not even elite guys, because Mario's not going to be an elite NFL running back. So maybe this is the time where he can maximize his value at the most, and that might be what he's doing at this moment. Again, I don't know, and that we don't know what reports are.
The other part of this, and we're going to let you listen to this audio from MJ Morris, because there's a lot of this right here, and I want to get into the full discussion with it, of truth in football. I feel like, and maybe because of the Juice Wells situation, maybe because of what I just saw with Lenore Sellers and Brock Vandegrift and the reports from Steve Whitfong on Vandegrift in South Carolina, and if there is interest there and if there is a possibility. But this is MJ Morris. Now, let's give you a little background before we play this audio. MJ Morris played a little bit as a freshman at North Carolina State 2 years ago. North Carolina State then went into the transfer portal. It was kind of expected that MJ Morris, without question, would be the starter this past season in 2023. MJ Morris fully expected to be the starter. North Carolina State lost there. Then the reason he was expected to be the starter was because he had taken the job essentially from Devin Leary, who transferred to North Carolina State. Well, when Devin Leary transferred, North Carolina State looked around and said, we need some depth. We need some depth in the quarterback room. You know, we can't just have 2 guys there. We need to look around. So North Carolina State did what I think most schools would do, and they went out and they got Brennan Armstrong. The problem was Brennan Armstrong beat out MJ Morris, and MJ Morris got a little offended. And so now it's coming to light why he decided to basically quit on his team after starting 4 games, playing in 4 games to preserve his red shirt. This is MJ Morris from, I think, this past weekend, doing an interview talking about what happened with North Carolina State and why he's in the portal. Here's some audio from this, and then we'll talk about the truth in football. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I was just saying, we had a talk. They didn't know if I was going to transfer or not. Like I said, I still don't want to leave. I want to be here. And then a week later, we had another talk. They called me to the office, and it was mutual. We didn't leave on any bad blood. I still have good relationships with all of them. We left on good terms. They just told me that they wanted to, you know, take different ways, go get a different quarterback, go get a starting quarterback. And I was like, all right, I really do wish y'all the best. Whoever comes in here, I would hope he succeeds here. And he's going to love this place just as much as I loved it. But I knew right there after that conversation, it was just time to explore my options, take my talents elsewhere, and just follow wherever God takes me next.
I mean, what do you, I mean, let me go back to that.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. What do you take away from that? Because that's also not the story we got during the season.
That's not the story we got during the season. I'm not sure if maybe RJ or the coaching staff understands what mutual means, because breakups by and large are very much not mutual most of the time. Somebody hates somebody more than the other, and I don't know what this situation is. We can all say that we're all deciding to part ways, but I don't know what that means as far as mutual. Also, don't know what he was promised, how those things were played out on the field, what the quarterback room was. There's so many variables to that. But if he wants to, quote unquote, explore his options, he has the right to do that based within the gods and the rules. It does interesting that he did say the magic phrase, which I think LeBron was the first person to say that.
I'll take my talents elsewhere.
He's definitely taking his talents elsewhere.
The part about, again, it's honesty in college football. We're going to get more into this because, by the way, just for the record, Brock Vandagriff did commit to Kentucky yesterday. I don't think I worded that properly. I was saying what I was referring to with Brock Vandagriff is an elite, or what we think is an elite quarterback. We don't know. We haven't seen enough of him at Georgia. We're basing the word elite on his recruiting from several years ago. But South Carolina's in this place, right? With Lenore Sellers, where we've all hyped Lenore. I don't know if Lenore Sellers can live up to the hype. I don't know if we've overhyped Lenore Sellers at this point. Like, I'm putting out, and I'm take full blame for some of it because I put out a tweet during a football game, I think after the run against Vanderbilt, I think it was Vanderbilt, where I basically said, like, oh my goodness, like, is there ever going to be another true start this highly anticipated from a guy? Like, we're hyping Lenore Sellers, and poor Lenore Sellers is just like, man, I just want to be a quarter. Like, just let me go out and play. Probably we're having him on, no offense, we're having him on the Garnet Trust, but we're hyping Lenore Sellers, and South Carolina's looking around going, we got to build some depth. And if Brock Vandagriff wants to come in and compete, we're going to take him. But is that being honest with Lenore? If you're telling him that,
it depends on what you're telling him, and that's the whole concept. Building depth means that we're getting somebody here in case you get hurt. That's what building depth means, or at least that's what you hear as the first start. You're like, oh yeah, let's bring some depth. You know, if I get hurt, of course I want the team to hit. What the coach is saying when he's building depth is, we're bringing somebody else to compete.
Yeah,
somebody that could be better. What you never think of is that you might be the depth. You think you're the starter, and when they talk about building depth, they might be talking about you, and you don't ever consider that conversation.
Well, you as a former player, you watched it through recruiting. You've joked. I think 23 years later or somewhere in there, 22, you can joke about it now, but like you said, Sean Smith's a good friend of yours now, and he was then. But when you saw, we were all excited when Sean Smith signed. You were like, oh, man.
This guy has 18 sacks at JUCO, All-American, 6'3". Oh, my gosh.
We'll get into it because it works the other way, too. Unfortunately, we're going to bring Juice Wells back up.
Yeah.
Well, it works the other way, too. We'll talk a little bit of truth in college football. Can coaches and players be honest with one another? We'll bring that up and just get into it a little bit. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Be listening to the game for your chance to win a family 4-pack to go see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra at Colonial Life Arena Friday, December 8th. You can purchase tickets by going to livenation.com.
It is done for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. All of the work that had to be done on our cabinets in the kitchen from that flood, they made life so much easier, helped us choose the right cabinets, and then they gave us the photorealistic rendering, so it looked like somebody had taken a picture of our new kitchen before we actually had our new kitchen. They have a job site guarantee that made the installation process go so smoothly. We're so thrilled with every aspect of our new cabinets. If you need cabinetry for your home, workspace, or even an outdoor kitchen, visit chwcabinetry.com or give them a call today, 803-520-6837. They're awesome to work with. Make sure you tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. Passion from inspiration to installation.
Text Title with proof credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. Ho, ho, hold everything. Savings Clause is coming to JT's Kia. JT will stuff your stocking with savings. Thousands off new Kias. Telluride Sorrento Carnival. Save thousands in interest. Just 0.9%. Dream of a white Christmas, but make no payments till spring. Get 20% more for your trade, up to $6,000. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sKia.com. Kia season of giving back.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, this is Kyle. This weight loss program sure has been great to me. I've lost 93 pounds in just 4 months, only 20 pounds away from my goal weight. It has surely changed my life.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today. Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Don't miss Lowe's 25 days of deals. Get up to 30% off plus save up to an extra $750 on select major appliances. Valid through 12/13. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details.
For the real story behind some of wrestling's biggest moments, it's Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, too.
1995, when WCW announces they're going to be live and head-to-head with Monday Night Raw, feels like this would have been something Vince would have kind of laughed off.
No, we did not like them moving to Monday nights. There were a lot of hotels. They all carried CNN, TBS, and TNT. Vince was convinced that Ted Turner had deviously done this deal to get in the hotels and keep us out.
Something to Wrestle, wherever you listen.
The lottery is not about getting rich, it's about helping people, and it always has been. In South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships and educational programs across the state. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit SCEducationLottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
And what a mess we have in Malfunction Junction this morning. There was an earlier accident, I-26 eastbound right there. Multiple cars involved, so going to be a big slowdown coming in this morning. Also, Augusta Highway at Oak Drive. Patricia Drive at Leesburg Road, an accident there. Piney Woods Road near Piney Grove, an accident. A report of some type of a gas leak, Broad River Road near I-20. So vehicles will probably be in that area getting that fixed. And Highway 321 at I-20, you'll also find an accident. Sunny and 58 today, overnight low of 36. And looking for high of 65 tomorrow, 72 by Saturday. But it's chilly this morning, 31 on the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Get your dialing fingers ready. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll give you another chance to win some Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets for Friday night, 7:30. We'll do that in the next segment. So get the fingers ready, get yourself prepared, get all fired up. Tell everybody to stop harassing you, and in 10 minutes, you'll have a chance to win some Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. Also, reminder, today, go visit Todd Moore, 620 Hugh G Street from 12 to 3. You can check out the one and only Terry Ford. Yep, you can throw a tomato at him. Rotten apples are preferred, but tomatoes are acceptable. 12 to 3 today. You can go and hang out at Todd Moore, 620 Hugh G Street with Terry Ford, as he'll be broadcasting live from there. 803-404-6100. So, Preston, we're going down a little bit of a path here, and to be honest, it's going to veer slightly here because a couple of you are bringing up some interesting points as it pertains to Lenora Sellers. That's not really where I intended to go this morning, but I do find it interesting because of the MJ Morris question. So let's start big picture, and then we'll filter back to Lenora Sellers specifically. You're a quarterback. You played last year. You think, man, this is my year. This is my year. Quarterback's different than wide receiver, or offensive line, or defensive line where there's snaps to go around. But if you're a quarterback in this era and you're going, man, this is my year. I'm going to step up, and I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to carry myself like the guy in the offseason. Oh, wait, what are you doing? You bringing in another guy? Because no transfer portal quarterback is transferring from being benched to going to be a happy backup. Kyle McCord and Dylan Gabriel aren't leaving Ohio State and Oklahoma, respectively, to go be someone's backup. Grayson McCall is not leaving Coastal Carolina to go be a backup at NC State. Brock Vandegrift, same thing, who, again, committed to Kentucky yesterday. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens with him and Liam Cohen's offense there. South Carolina is in a position where they really need another quarterback for depth purposes. So you're recruiting, I'm recruiting Preston Thorne, transfer quarterback. What are you telling them? Because we're all expecting Lenora Sellers to start. We're hyping Lenora Sellers to be the next big thing.
As are they.
The staff? Mm-hmm. Yes. And yet now I'm having to go on the recruiting trail just for depth purposes, bring in an experienced quarterback just in the event something happens. Because right now behind Sellers, you've got Luke Doty, who, again, may or may not be a quarterback. I have no clue what Luke Doty is anymore. And you have a true freshman in Dante Reno. And that, my good friend, is it.
You don't think Dante Reno is coming here to start next year in his mind?
I think he understands. I think it's easier for a high school player. Now, you might be right. I'm sure he's thinking, I'm going to go. I'm sure there's an element in his brain that is like, I'm going to go in and impress him so much that and probably also the fact that he just saw Tanner Bailey, who'd been here a little bit longer, transfer out. Colton Gauthier transfer out. He knows Spencer Rattler. He knows that job is a little more open.
So what it is, it's not that the coaches are going to go and say to this guy coming in, they're not going to go say, hey, look, they're not going to promise you anything because that can be on record. They're not going to say anything that they have to take back. But what they will do is let your imagination run. They'll say things like, well, we need a lot of help at quarterback, or the guy we have at quarterback now is a sophomore, or things along those nature. They're not going to tell you that you're going to start, but what they will do is just point out ways in which your egotistical mind as an elite recruit will say, oh, yeah, that sounds like the position that I'm in. It sounds like what they're telling me. And then when they go back and they say, no, we never said that. We said it's going to be an open competition. And they're right. They probably never did say it explicitly, but what they're implying the whole time is that, hey, if you come here, you got a shot. You might play. Things can happen.
How often is that true?
What?
You think, oh, you have a shot.
What do you mean?
Look, I think it's fair to say that South Carolina is going to build. The thinking is we're going to have this offense this year for Spencer Rattler. This is the offense. But with the ability of Lenora Sellers to run, which is different than Spencer Rattler's, the offense is changing. And there's no way you can't convince me that in his mind, while Dow Loggins was completely focused on 2023, that moving forward, much like this is the first time I really ever heard this, was when Mike Bobo came under Will Muschamp. And he brought Colin Hill with him, and you had Helinski. Yeah, all this stuff.
That did happen.
Oh yeah. But if you remember, and a lot of the websites would report this, they would say, Mike Bobo's running this offense this year because of Colin Hill and at that time Ryan Helinski. Now, they had landed Luke Doty. And at that time, the word, Luke Doty was considered the big-time 4-star dual-threat quarterback. They had also gotten the commitment of Gunnar Stockton, who is considered a dual-threat quarterback. And it was, well, for 1 year, Mike Bobo's going to run this offense. But as soon as he gets to Doty and Stockton, the whole offense is going to change. And I think in a way, we've heard that about Dow Loggins. All right, Spencer Rattler's more of a gunslinger. He's going to throw it around. Next year, though, with Lenore Sellers, he's changing the offense. And so you can't convince me that it hasn't. They have not been looking ahead to 2024 going, it's going to be a totally different offense. And we're already starting to hear that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what they're preying on. So when he goes back to the idea of, are they being honest with them? Yes, they're being honest, but I'm not sure they're being transparent with the players. They're not saying, hey, this is what our particular plans are, and if you fit into these plans, this is how it works. There is a level of sort of vagueness that they let you fill in your own story with it so that they don't have plausible deniability. We never said that. We said depth purposes. We never said that this guy was coming in. And that's just sort of the way that recruiting works. Now, that's understood. You understand that, hey, I got recruited, so somebody else is going to get recruited behind me. But the transfer portal adds in another wrinkle. And as you said, it's very similar to the concept of when I was in school, your junior college players coming in.
Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Joe wants to weigh in honesty with players and coaches. Joe, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm doing great, fellas. Preston just stole my thunder because I was about to use the exact same word and say transparent.
Explain what you was going to say. Go ahead.
No, I was going to hit exactly what you were saying. It's essentially coaches now. They will tell you what you want to hear, or they will juice your head up with the ideas that they know that will make you feel like you're the one to come in and get that spot. But that's not being quite transparent. Now, when it comes to the current kids that are on the roster, by no means will a coach be transparent with them because you have the transfer portal. And at any point in time, they can jump in and say, I'm out of here. And I think it's kind of funny. I love to hear how the kids who are – so like Preston, you're coming into media from a time and perspective where there were no transfer options. And if you were a disgruntled player, Coach Holtz or any other coach could say, hey, you aren't going to any of these 50 schools on the list, so the only place you can go is to Western U out in the middle of nowhere. Well, you can't do that anymore now. So I would love to hear how, let's say 15, 20 years from now, when current players, they start joining the media and they start having conversations about, how things are perceivably a wild, wild west now because you have a whole lot of different options. But players can be actually transparent to coaches because players can say, hey, coach, you're recruiting this guy. I don't like the fact that you're recruiting this guy. I'm out of here. I'm going to this school, and there's absolutely nothing the coach can do about it. So coaches, by no means can they be, quote unquote, transparent, to steal the word that you were going to use. But players, I feel like players are getting a lot more leverage now, and they can be honest, they can be transparent because it's kind of tilting more to where they have a little bit more of the power that they never, and I hate to say power, but they have a lot more freedom to do what they want with their careers than they ever had before.
I like the word you use is leverage. In a previous generation, players had the most leverage you had as a player was at signing day. After that, your leverage steadily decreased. And now in this new era of the transfer portal and the NIL situation, players have leverage throughout their playing careers. And that's kind of the thing that is different. I'm like you. I don't like you, Joe. I don't like using the word power because I still think there's a definite power imbalance. But they do have leverage in this situation now where in previous generations, once you signed, you've pretty much given up most of your leverage as far as the agency you had with your career.
Appreciate the phone call, Joe.
Appreciate it, Joe.
Yep. Thank you for a lot of good points there. 803-404-6100. We will get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines when we come back. And also, we'll give you a chance to win some TSO tickets. So get the dialing fingers ready. When we come back, we will get a winner from more TSO tickets. You're listening to Jen Jensen, Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, 744 on your Thursday morning.
Sir. Coming soon, The Game TV.
This
is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Golf's governing bodies, the R&A and the USGA, yesterday announced future changes to legal golf balls. They'll essentially deaden them to limit the growing distance top pros are hitting off the tees by 13 to 15 yards. Oh, they're not going to be happy about this. So what I really don't get, folks, is why are they doing this to us? Why are they making us, the recreational players, also suffer with these new balls? I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
Do you have a game plan for COVID-19? Prescription oral treatments must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms, even if mild. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, two perennial AFC powers tangle as the New England Patriots march into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon, live from Pittsburgh. It's the Patriots and the Steelers on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Do you have a game plan for COVID-19? Prescription oral treatments must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms, even if mild. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Plus, text entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details.
It's the most wonderful buy of the year.
You'll be singing about savings during the sale of the year at JT's Dodgeland and JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. 12,000 off new Jeeps. Your stocking will be stuffed when you save 12 grand on new Rams. Chargers and Challengers, 6,000 off. Get 2.9% for 72 months. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sCars.com. Wrap up the year sales event.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous. You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8253.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No pressure buying. Best in class service. And a $1,000 low price guarantee. The season's always better in a Love Chevrolet. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
Save big every day during our 25 days of deals at Lowe's. Save $100 on select master-built vertical smokers. Shop in-store and online. Because Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/13 while supplies last.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Looking at the phone lines, it almost looks as though people have an idea of what we're up to.
Look at that. Professional radio at its finest. You knew what was going on. Let's take caller number 5. Caller number 5 there, Jen. 803-404-6100. You can win. I don't think all these people have called to weigh in on transparency between coaches and players in college football. Take caller number 5, Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. We'll give you one more chance in the next hour to win as well. 803-404-6100. So off air, Preston and I broke out into another discussion about that. And let me read some some stuff here, some text messages on the Firehouse Subs text line. Alan just says contracts are coming.
Please. Again, all of this can be solved by having a collectively bargained agreement with the players group. I refrain from saying the word union because that scares people. But yes, contracts will be welcomed for everybody in this situation.
Anonymous texter weighs in, keep NIL the same. Just add that if you leave, you have to sit out 1 year.
That's probably not going to pass the sniff test in legal places.
Okay. All right.
Unless it is collectively bargained.
Okay. So off air, one thing that Preston and I got into, because let's be clear, and Preston wanted to bring this up, and it was a good point. Mario Anderson is, as we sit here, is not in the transfer portal. It has been reported he intends to enter the transfer portal.
The levels.
Right. He intends. Now, as Preston and I kind of got into an off-air discussion, who leaked this information? Because you're talking about transparency. This is the easiest thing in the world, right? Like for Mario, for somebody to just say, hey, I think Mario is going to enter the transfer portal. And then the coaches go, oh, wait a minute, you're going to enter? Because once you enter the transfer portal, you can still come back. But that's rare because it feels like the bridge has been burnt. You have to be in a situation more like Grayson McCall last year at Coastal Carolina, where Coastal was like, no, please come back. We'll take you. We love you. Yeah. We love you, Grayson.
Yeah, you know where home is.
That's not like, I don't.
And Shane's has drawn a pretty hard line. Now, I don't know if that was because of that way that situation played out and he might have felt a little burnt in that, but that's what he said previously. He hasn't said that this year and things could change, but Shane has drawn a pretty hard line that if you enter the portal, that's kind of it.
It seemed like last year with Marshawn Lloyd and Jordan Birch that Shane felt burnt. That's me speaking. It's not Shane Beamer. That's me kind of assessing the situation. I could very well be wrong. But if you leak it out there and then the coaches come to you, I don't know. That's what Dad said, or that's what and I hate to use this word, but if you've read Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell and J.C. Sherbert and John Whittle, you started seeing the word agent thrown around a lot more. I think it was J.C. Sherbert this week in some of his notes that reported that it's becoming kind of commonplace that when these kids, especially the transfer portal kids, not so much the high school kids yet, but it's coming, that when they take a visit, they bring an NIL agent with them.
Yeah, and again, a lot of times these words are loaded words. Let's use the word representation, because if we're having conversations about money in situations where there is a professional having negotiations, you probably should have some sort of representation with you. I know a lot of times we hear the word agents, but again, in the true sense of the word, agents are good tools because they help you understand the process. They help you go through the process. But as you said, what's the legitimacy of these quote unquote agents? What's the background of these agents? Whose interests are these agents serving? We don't have a lot of information. That's where it gets really murky. But representation is good. We want representation.
Yeah, it's fine. I have no problem with that. But I go back, like in this situation, you see now more and more of so-and-so intends to enter the transfer portal. And it's almost like once you say that, you're giving the coaching staff 24, 48 hours to put together a bigger NIL package.
Well, also I have to play the other side. Is the like the old Scream movies, is the call coming from in the house? Could it be that some of those people in the buildings are leaking that information to maybe put pressure on the player to make a change because they have the same access to these channels, these anonymous posters and things like that? We don't know. We don't know where this information, but the fact is that he has not entered the portal at this moment. Where we are in that journey, I'm not privy to that information. Somebody knows, I'm not.
I also wonder, and I'm not going to read this verbatim because he sent it to me, but I'll say this is from Courtney Levitt. And he just points out different things from his time, just like yours, playing college football. And he gives me two different reasons. One, we've kind of discussed as it pertains to why you might leak information. The other one, he brings a good point. You leak the information, even though it's still tampering. You leak the information to see what your interest level, and I won't even go with the money part, but what's your interest? Like if it gets leaked, and then because we know, let's not be naive that if Tennessee, I'm just going to use Tennessee for example. If Tennessee hears, Mark, they saw him have that 75-yard run. He only had 101 yards against Tennessee, But they saw him have in Tennessee. He goes, oh, he might leave. Does anybody know his high school coach from Stratford? Let's just let that guy know that if Mario Anderson is intended, that we are very interested in him. Does anybody have a contact? Oh, yeah, we got somebody who recruits the Low Country in Charleston. Hey, just if you're out and about, let that and make sure that coach knows, and then maybe he passes it on. And we can't be naive about that's part of what is happening in college football with this NIL.
Absolutely, and that's why you see all these players whenever they receive quote unquote offers or they make themselves known that they enter in the portal. They do that so that they garner the attention of other folks. And so there was an article in The Athletic where a player was saying that he entered the portal, he had 2 offers, then he posted on social media that he had those 2 offers, and then he had 20 offers.
Right.
Because that's how the game gets played.
We'll get a little bit more into this. I see a lot of y'all weighing in. I'll try and get to some of these text messages. We'll do that. Got plenty more we'll get back into some basketball as well. I don't know. We'll find some other stuff. Missing golf carts? We'll get into that as well. A lot going on here. It's a Thursday morning. You're listening to the early game.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Sponsored by Canty Foundation Specialists. Cracked concrete, sinking foundation, or need new gutters, Canty can fix it. Now is the perfect time to get your sinking or cracked concrete fixed. Whether a sidewalk, a porch, or a pool deck, Canty Foundation has the perfect solution. Don't replace it, repair it. Call today for a free estimate or visit CantyCanFixIt.com.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important, like dinner with loved ones. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
Life matters. The year was 1941, and ASCAP, the American Society of Composers and Publishers, was on strike. The popular music of America was restricted from airtime. To counter the strike, BMI, Broadcast Music Incorporated, was born and began to play the classics which were in public domain. I Dream of Jeannie with the Light Brown Hair was played so often that students at UCLA burned Jeannie in effigy. America was growing weary of the limited style of music, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief when the writers' strike ended after 10 months. During Christmas, we seem bombarded by holiday music in malls, on TV and radio, and in our churches and school assemblies. We never seem to tire of it, though, maybe because we only have it for 6 weeks, but I think also because of the meaning attached to Christmas music. The celebration of Jesus' birth really is a good idea, as well as the thought that this event is worth singing about. This is Christian Life Pastor Stephen Chitty wishing you a Merry Christmas. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
Plus, text entitled with approved credit card 662434623 for details.
It's the most wonderful buy of the year.
You'll be singing about savings during the sale of the year at JT's Dodgeland and JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. 12,000 off new Jeeps. Your stocking will be stuffed when you save 12 grand on new Rams. Chargers and Challengers 6,000 off. Get 2.9% for 72 months. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sCars.com. Wrap up the year sales event.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Honey, you need a trust.
Breathe easier this holiday season with Zerorez Air Duct Cleaning. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. Safely drive that automobile. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
Hey, as far as the traffic conditions are out there this morning, I-26 eastbound Malfunction Junction, yuck. There was a multi-car accident, and that's really been slowing things down. Also an accident, Alpine Road at I-20, Augusta Highway at Oak Drive, Ashland at Bush River Road. You'll also find a tie up there. Broad River Road near Piney Grove Road, an accident. 321 at I-20. And Patricia Drive at Leesburg Road, if I didn't mention that, that is also in the slowdown phase. 58 under sunny skies today. 65 tomorrow. We'll hit 72 by Saturday. By Sunday, rain, windy, and 72. But it's still brisk this morning. It's 32 on the early game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Jalen Nichols from South Carolina Football. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter.
I love this photo.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
My eyes look phenomenal. The blue in my eye stands out so well.
The day of the photos, I believe the quote was, I love how it makes my eyes pop.
My eyes, yeah.
It does.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
I love me some me.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
One more hour. And then I'll be honest with you, some programming notes. We're handing the whole thing over to Preston tomorrow.
You look buddy.
The whole shit. Jen's out. I'm out. Preston's got the whole thing to himself tomorrow.
It's going to be fun.
If you thought we didn't talk about sports when Bill was here. See, this is what the misconception is. They think Bill might be the guy that railroads this thing, but you wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Preston's got the whole actually, just for the record, he's got it tomorrow and Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday. Jen will be back the following Monday.
Yeah.
He's taking a whole week off.
Mm-hmm.
So Preston has got 6 hours of Preston Thorne, Friday and Monday.
I think it'll be educational.
We'll do so. Yes, it will be educational. We'll have some educational things, but maybe Monday will just be an super extended version of Thorns, Buds, and Roses.
There you go.
You could read
3 hours.
I've heard of a couple really good books that you could probably read on the air. Just thinking, Christmas is coming, so it might be good gift ideas.
6 o'clock hour, Thorns. 7 o'clock, Buds.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. I like that strategy. Just one big extended version. There you go. So tomorrow and Monday, I'll be out. Jen out all the way through next Friday, and then we'll all reconvene coming up on December 18th for one more week as we get you ready for Christmas and Santa Claus coming down the chimney. I do want to take a second just to have a kind of a day of remembrance. I'm a history. I love history. I love Netflix documentaries on World War II and all that. But obviously today, a day of remembrance for Pearl Harbor. 2,403 Americans killed in the Japanese surprise attack in Hawaii, December 7th, 1941, Preston. It's crazy that is now 82 years ago. 82 years ago today, Pearl Harbor bombed by the Japanese in the surprise attack. 2,403 Americans lost their lives. I again, are you a history guy? Are you a big history buff? I don't know what you taught. I gotta be honest.
I taught through the whole social studies curriculum, but yeah, history for sure.
Yeah,
U.S. specifically.
I don't know. I had a grandfather that fought in World War II, and really just there's something that's always very interesting to me. And I've never completely studied more of the battles in the Pacific than I have the stuff that was occurring in Europe. But certainly want to take a day if you have a relative or someone that was a part of your family or some way, shape, or form attached to you that passed away in the Pearl Harbor bombings. Thoughts and prayers. December 7th, 1941, which then, of course, led to the United States declaring war on Japan the next day and entering World War II. But certainly a day to remember, and probably see if there's some documentaries on later this afternoon. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh. And I did see a picture, a post from David Cloninger last night. A really cool job by the women's basketball team and Dawn Staley and everybody at Colonial Life Arena. I don't know if you've seen this, where they put up a kind of a sign and a picture and a flag of Gamecock Jesus, Carlton Thompson, obviously passing away yesterday, and thoughts and prayers with his family. And they put out a neat, you can go to David at DCPNC, David Kleinerger's Twitter account. You can see they had a little sign there with a picture of him, had a flag draped over a chair there last night in the women's 104-38 victory over Morgan State. So again, our thoughts and prayers with Carlton Thompson, otherwise known as Gamecock Jesus, with his family today.
For sure. Yeah, rest in peace for sure. And you saw the outpouring of love from the disgruntled, disfractured, often fighting community of Gamecocks on Twitter. Everybody was in agreement on that.
Yeah. So certainly, again, thoughts and prayers. 803-404-6100, as we have hit a couple different topics. One other just news note, just newsy, just sports newsy. We do sometimes. Preston's going to take control of the sports the next 6 hours. Juan Soto heading to the Yankees.
Yeah, I saw that.
Way to go, Yankees. Seven-player deal there, and Juan Soto leaves the Padres and heads to the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Yankees haven't quite figured this out yet. I think the Yankee strategy is who makes the most money? Yeah, let's go get him. Yeah. I think what ridiculous contract can we take on? Sure, let's try it.
I'm trying to think, is this – I'm not going to – look, I barely pay attention to baseball in May, June, July, and August. December is very little of me following
Bill pitchers and catchers are going soon, man.
Yeah, about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the final year of the Shohei Ohtani contract?
Yeah, this is contract.
Like they've got to do something with him.
Yes, this is contract year, and they've been having a lot of discussions about that. He most recently had a meeting with the Dodgers to have that conversation. The betting person is saying that regardless of what the situation is, he probably will still end up in Anaheim. Because of his situation as he just feels very comfortable in Anaheim with all the accommodations that he has as far as language is concerned and things of that nature. And they're not sure if he's going to be hesitant to, get out of his comfort zone being there. So they definitely have the home field advantage on that.
But some big news. Actually, I will be attending several Braves games this year. I'm kind of excited about that. So I guess I'm going to have to pick up my knowledge of baseball a little bit here. I used to, I don't know, Preston, I think for people our age, you played baseball in high school. You were all-state. Is that, yeah.
My proudest athletic achievement.
There you go.
Besides the 22 points I scored in the YMCA basketball game in 7th grade. That's my second proudest
22
achievement. 22.
Wow.
Scored 22, man. I was hot.
At that point, you're like, maybe this baseball thing's not worth my time. It's time to look into the NBA.
There was some guys. I was like, okay, Charles Barkley, Anthony Mason. There was a market for guys of my size, and then I don't know what happened to that market. It disappeared.
I will admit, I got cut. This is actually going to be a little bit funnier. I got cut from the 7th and 8th grade team as a 7th grader at Lexington, and so to help improve, my father actually put me on a church team where basically I had to score all the points or else. Like, it was a situation there, and I think I had like a 34 point. We got beat. We still got beat like 60-34, but I think I scored I was like Chuck Gibson. There was no passing. And I remember thinking and literally like after that, I was like, I don't think the NBA's in my future, but I think I can go overseas and have a nice career. And that became like my goal for about 8 weeks, as I was like, you know what? The NBA's out of reach. I'm not going to make that, but I can go overseas. And obviously that didn't pan out either. So anyway, but yeah, there you go. But going back to the baseball thing, it feels like maybe in the 90s, maybe as kids we were more into it, and then I lost touch.
I was 100% locked in every night. And things have definitely changed. There seems to be a little bit more excitement. We have this conversation all the time. What happens to baseball? Baseball is very healthy in a regional aspect. It's just not nationalized, and so that's the thing about as far as baseball is concerned. But Juan Soto should this in a different time, this would be groundbreaking news, but we just don't pay attention on a national scale like that. Now, I'm sure in New York or maybe even in San Diego, they might be having these conversations more, but it doesn't move the meter nationally.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. We'll try and keep up with we'll try and keep up with everything. I'm reading here. It looks like Shohei is actually a free agent now.
Yeah.
Steve, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I
No,
thought you meant.
no, I mean, this is now. It's
okay.
happening.
I thought you meant next year. All right.
No, it's happening right now.
Okay. Well, so we'll monitor that. That'll be our breaking baseball
Shohei watch.
news. Maybe, just maybe we'll look up and the news will come from at some point from 6 to 9 one morning. We'll get back into some football discussion. Honesty in football, in college football, how much is it? How much does there need to be? I mean, look, on a coach's point too, now we just saw what happened with Juice Wells. Was he being completely honest? So it works both ways. This isn't just coaches now being dishonest with players. It's players now, hey, I'm in. Marshawn Lloyd last year, going home, going for his meetings. He meets with Shane Beamer. Yeah, coach, I'll be back in a few weeks. And then Shane Beamer pulling the old John Travolta out of Pulp Fiction. Walking, where is he? We'll get into a little bit. We'll keep on that, keep weighing in. I'll get to some of these text messages as well. We'll also give you a chance to win more Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets this hour. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Got a take?
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Plus, text title with group credit card 66243-4623 for details.
It's the most wonderful buy of the year.
You'll be singing about savings during the sale of the year at JT's Dodgeland and JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. 12,000 off new Jeeps. Your stocking will be stuffed when you save $12,000 on new Rams. Chargers and Challengers, 6,000 off. Get 2.9% for 72 months. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sCars.com. Wrap up the year sales event.
Attention business owners and Gamecock fans. Looking to make a statement? Introducing Palmetto Shirt Company, your go-to source for custom apparel. Proudly serving Gamecocks athletics, you can trust them to deliver nothing but the best. From eye-catching designs to premium apparel options, they've got your business covered. Stand out, be bold, and outfit your team with the help of Palmetto Shirt Company. Visit them online at palmettoshirtco.com or stop by the store at 1404 Atlas Road. Palmetto Shirt Company, South Carolina's choice for custom apparel.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath your home and eventually will find their way inside. Canty Foundation Specialist is your local trusted expert in crawl space sealing. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Moisture and high humidity in your crawl space create an environment for mold and mildew and affect the air you breathe inside your home. Call Canty for a free inspection today at 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Up at the dealership, people pause. Out comes good old trade-in clause. The perfect time of year to upgrade your ride. Trade in your car while the values are high. Trade in your old sleigh today at Galliana Kia on Greystone. We'll take any trade in any condition, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. Drive home a new Kia with no money down and no payments until spring of next year. Save up to $10,000 on a 2023 Kia EV6 electric super vehicle, or lease a 2023 Galliana Kia Forte LXS for $155 per month. 2024 Galliana K5 LXS or 2023 Kia Sorento LX, just $225 per month. It's the season of giving back sales event at Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 is Sioux exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. EV6 discount on lease stock number 3K5004. 24-month lease is 10,000 miles per year. $54.99 for signing plus tax tag and 489 closing fee. Your security deposit, negative trade at new refinance with approved credit. Expires January 2nd.
The holidays are upon us.
And
all the people in your life need a happy place to come and be together.
And
all you have to do is point. And all of your clutter, junk will disappear. And you'll have a big, open, happy home where you can get together with all the people you love.
now I get it.
Out with the dull, lifeless junk.
In with sparkling, lively people.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Unleash the delight.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Columbia's secret for weight loss changed my life. I've lost over 50 pounds, and now I have metabolic flexibility. To me, this program is more than just about fat loss. It's about a lifestyle. Throughout this program, the guidance and accountability help create a pathway to a healthier, better me.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
Things are definitely busy out on the highways this morning. We are looking at I-26 eastbound at exit 101. The right lane is currently blocked. Also, Alpine at I-20, an accident there. Ashland at Bush River. Fish Hatchery Road at Pine Ridge Drive. Augusta Highway at I-26. Still trying to get things cleaned up from a multi-car accident in Malfunction Junction on I-26 eastbound. Patricia Drive at Leesburg. 321 at I-20 in the cleanup stages, and Broad River Road near Piney Grove Road. So do be careful out there this morning. Allow a little extra time. 58 for the high today, 65 tomorrow. Don't really see any rain in the forecast until Sunday, but it is 33 on the early game.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$8:16 on a Thursday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunter, Jen Jensen. As we get you up and carry you through this morning, we got a drop-in going here at the studios for people. And Preston and I feel kind of like we're at the zoo right now. We just had somebody taking pictures of us.
Lots of people peeking in.
And now there's a nutcracker out there. The South Carolina Ballet is. There's a lot of things happening outside of our studio right now. So if you thought I had issues with attention prior, oh boy, welcome to the next 45 minutes. 803-404-6100 as the Nutcracker makes its way into Jen's studio. It's going to make it tough for us to for Jen to do her job. Let's Jen, is there any way we can get out to the Love Chevy phone lines while you do whatever it is you're doing? Let's get to Ray. Ray, how you doing this morning? Ray, what's on your mind?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, all. Yeah, just touched a hard-fought basketball game last night. Enjoyed it. We made a few more shots. Of course, you can always say that in any game, but showed a lot of promise, a lot of skilled players. I think we're going to be okay this year. I don't know how many games we're going to play, but I think we'll win. Pardon me, but I think we'll be a fun team to watch. But what I wanted to call about, I was listening yesterday, and kind of going back to the NI on the collective thing there. They're talking about giving the power more to the university as far as paying people and stuff like that, and the way I took it, taking kind of the control away from the NI on collecting and then running themselves. And it sounds good, Preston, but the more I think about it, wasn't that why the NI on the collective kind of was created? Because the universities are kind of, they didn't want to give away any of that money. They didn't have to give away to athletes or give anything to athletes, and they went to the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 against them. So I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about the universities taking control of that, because I could see them saying, well, we're feeding you 3 times a day. You're getting training and all this, so we're going to deduct that from your money. I mean, I'm just a little skeptical about that, because, I mean, Preston, back in your day, could you imagine if you were one of your teammates decided, I don't no longer want to be in this program? Could you imagine? In those days, you couldn't just hop in a portal. You'd have to go sit down with Coach Lou Holtz, tell him, Coach, I don't want to be in your program no more. Can you imagine the intimidation factor there? I mean, good land. And then on top of it, the coaches could control where you went and if you could go somewhere else. So I know it's kind of the Wild West now, but I'm kind of, I'm kind of balanced one way or the other. But I'm not so much sold on the universities having all control of this money. And I just want to get your take on that, Preston. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Ray, appreciate the phone call. You've addressed a lot of really interesting things. And again, I hate giving this disclaimer, but I will for this. We do not do politics on this show. But as you brought up, the Supreme Court voted 9-0. That means people on one side, on the other side, they don't agree on much.
They came together.
They all agreed on this, and they all felt like there was something that needed to be changed in this situation. As far as the proposal is concerned, I'm not sure if we need to put too much energy into it because it is just what it is, a proposal. The schools and the universities are going to fight the proposal, as many of them sound like they were just finding out about the proposal as we were. So I wouldn't put that much energy into it. The last part to address is, yes, you would have to go have this conversation with a coach as far as what your future was concerned. And it is a tough conversation, one that I think young people probably need to have a few more of. But yes, to your point, there was sort of a power imbalance when as a young person, you have to go speak to a person who essentially controls your future. And that is a difficult conversation to have. And that's why some people might have representation for these conversations.
Let's go back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Jay from Forest Acres, I understand, wants to weigh in this morning. Jay from Forest Acres, what's on your mind? How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I just want to know, are y'all taking pictures after your show for the open house?
Little does he know, but Jay from Forest Acres has been assigned a table outside. He will be signing autographs and taking pictures with everybody who wants to stop by. I believe our duty is just to keep his water filled so that he is prepared at all times. So we're just his errand boys this morning.
Well, it better be coffee, and you might want to put something in it because Jay from Columbia Forest Acres, Forest Hills is not usually awake right now. So, there's that.
It is 8:21 on a Thursday morning. We now learned that Jay Phillips does not wake up in time to hear the early game. This is devastating
I'm
news.
an empty nester now. So, Preston, you got a little one. Bill, you still got young ones. Sonny and I do not. So, hey, I'm a man of leisure in the mornings.
Jay, what kind of Christmas tree is it? How many Christmas trees are at the Phillips house?
4.
Oh my goodness.
Nice number. Big number.
You can't hide money. That radio money, you can't hide good radio money. 4. And are all these artificial or is Lumberjack Jay out there cutting down trees left and right?
Well, no, there's nobody cutting them down. Someone's done that for us. We went to the State Farmers Market for 3 real trees. We do have 1 artificial tree.
Okay, and are all 4 traditionally decorated, lace, all the things, the beautiful ornaments, or do you have 1 family tree?
We have a family tree with all kinds of kitschy stuff on. Actually, kind of 2 like that. Then my wife has a tree in the living room that's very, it's more, I guess, is elegant the right word?
Designer fruit.
Yeah, it's nicer. Yeah,
fancy.
It's got, there's no like, I don't know, Spider-Man ornaments on it or something like that. And then we have one actually that's new this year that she decided to do in our kitchen, and it is like kind of fun food themed.
Oh, that's fun.
We've had some fun with that. Yeah.
Have you ever?
It's a nice addition, actually.
Have you ever thought about doing one of those upside down ones? Where literally you hang it upside down so it's inverted.
I haven't, but I am now.
I've seen.
How do I do this?
I've seen a few of those. I mean, obviously, I think you would have to somehow, bracket on a beam or something for the weight of it. But yeah, you suspend it so that literally it's inverted and the point of the tree is down by the ground. It's a really cool concept.
All right. Well, now that's, I guess it's too late now, but
tree number
next
5.
year that's on the list.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, if she's got room for it. And if I may real quick interject some business to the last caller, the schools aren't going to cheat them out of their money anymore. There's sort of a bare minimum kind of a thing. I would embrace this, but that's just my opinion, y'all. I think this is long overdue. So I think NIL Look, you got one booster club. You need one NIL. Schools need to be in charge and hire some quality people to do it. That's my opinion.
Jay, from Forest Acres, we always appreciate your insight. We'll see if the guy from 3 to 6 today can match that kind of wisdom you just offered.
Well, we'll all see. I'll be waving at you through the glass in mere minutes, boys.
We look forward to it.
Jen.
Thank you.
We look forward to that. Be
All
safe.
right. Thank you.
Take care. Jay from Forest Acres. You can hear him from 3 to 6 later today with great insight like you just heard right there. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Tim wants to weigh in on keeping your word. Tim, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm all right. How y'all?
Doing good.
Listen, I don't know if Preston will remember this. I called the dinner show one time. Well, if you ain't my age, it's lunch, I reckon. But anyhow, I called one time and I was talking about this, the transfer portal and all this and that and other. What I got to say about it is people whine about folks leaving, but they skipping around bumping their head on the ceiling when they get them. You know what I mean? It's a two-way thing. And what these young'uns see, they don't nobody keep their word no more. They don't think no more about lying than they do taking a breath of air. They tell you, I promise y'all do something. What they really mean is, I promise y'all do it if something else I'd rather do don't come up. These young'uns is the same way. They see coaches not fulfilling contracts. They see mom and daddy bailing out on each other, not staying married no more. I mean, I've been married nearly 40 years, and people just founded when I tell them that. Just once, yeah. I mean, I promised her that I'd stay with her in front of God and a whole church full of people and her mom and daddy and everybody else. Folks just don't do what they say no more. So don't be whining and carrying on when these young'uns, and I say young'uns, kids, they ain't nobody in their late teens or early 20s that's got a whole lot of sense. That's just the facts of it. They don't look at the big picture. They just look at right now. I want it right now. Give me this. Give me this. Don't nobody want to wait on nothing. Got to get it right now. So that's my thing about this transfer portal. And look, these schools being in charge or whatever, somebody needs to be in charge, because anybody with intelligence level above a second grader knows it's a mess like it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what needs to be done. I ain't got no ideas, but something needs to be done. It needs some kind of structure, because the way it is now, it's just all screwed up in my opinion. But that's about all I got.
All right.
Appreciate it, Tim. I definitely remember you, because I remember your voice for sure. And I think Tim's in a situation where a lot of people are, because we have our own lives, so we're not spending a lot of brain energy putting thoughts to this. But the point is, there are very smart people who have come up with a lot of very viable options for this. And the NCAA has consistently chosen to ignore, defer, kick the can down the road until we've ended up in what is an untenable situation for all parties involved. If you look around, nobody's really happy in this situation. Coaches are not happy. The players are not happy. They may be getting paid, but I would contend about, are they happy with the situation? The institutions are losing. So everybody's been put in a bad situation because, as Tim just said, nobody in charge decided to make an in-charge decision. I do have faith that is coming. The proposal brought forward by Charlie Baker and crew is a bold step towards things happening. Things will be changing. We're just in a situation right now where it's the messy middle.
803-404-6100 as I look at a tweet from Lane Kiffin from 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago. Okay, what do you got?
This is why Lane Kiffin is so hard to dislike. Oh, hey, look, Jay from Forest Acres. Hashtag in the sip. Lane Kiffin offering inspirational words. Happy Thursday. I hope today you wake up with someone you love that loves you back, something to do that sets your soul on fire, and a place to be that you call home. Look at Lane Kiffin.
Lane, whose Instagram post did you take that from?
Keep that in mind as you continue to go through your Thursday.
And also, he left off and somebody to troll.
Someone to troll. Yes, that's the Lane
Make sure
Kiffin.
you wake up with somebody to troll.
Lane Kiffin out there, folks. Follow him on Twitter at Lane Kiffin. He's verified. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, and a smiling Jay Phillips in the studio. We'll get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines when we come back. It's the early game.
Yes, that phone in your pocket or purse will keep you in touch with your family and friends. It will take great selfies of you on amazing adventures or just this morning's breakfast. And it's pretty good in case of an emergency. But the single most important function of your phone is the game.
But both defenses have been
This year? What's so funny?
The noise.
You can listen anywhere. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the Game app now.
Oh, big party here at the studio. People are out there. You know what we had to do? We had to clean the carpets. Wanted it to look good around here. Had to make the carpets look nice and good. So you know who we called? Of course, we called Zero Res, 803-262-4020 with their patented Zero Res ZR water technology, the non-toxic water, which cleans better than soaps while leaving behind zero residue. Zero Res has made the carpets in the studio look absolutely fantastic. You can take advantage of their Christmas sale as well. You just need to mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129 plus. You can get a hallway cleaned for free. Give them a phone call, 803-262-4020, or schedule online with ease, ZeroResColumbia.com. Again, that's 803-262-4020. Again, 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner, you get a free hallway clean. Zero Res, spell it backwards and forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Line, where next level internet speeds means next level productivity. Choose BreezeLine and go boss mode with next level internet and faster speeds backed by a fiber-powered network. Terms and conditions apply. Go to breezeline.com to learn more.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, where saving is always the name of the game. The lowest price, guaranteed, or they'll pay you $1,000. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina. This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
For whatever you may want, in most any kind of sport, Todd & Moore is where it begins.
It's the Christmas kickoff sale where Todd Moore has hundreds of gift ideas for men, women, and children. Shoes, apparel, equipment, and more. Name brands you'll love and selections for every budget. From football, baseball, and basketball to tennis, pickleball, and soccer, Todd Moore has the best selection and prices. Todd Moore, 620 Hugie Street at Blossom near the campus.
Equipment for your sport, from the diamond to the court, Todd & Moore is where it begins.
Plus, text title with proof credit card 66243-4623 for details.
It's the most wonderful buy of the year.
You'll be singing about savings during the sale of the year at JT's Dodgeland and JT's Jeep Ram Lexington. 12,000 off new Jeeps. Your stocking will be stuffed when you save 12 grand on new Rams. Chargers and Challengers, 6,000 off. Get 2.9% for 72 months. And if you've got coal in your credit stocking, come see JT. JT'sCars.com. Wrap up the year sales event.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic
is sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive in West Columbia. Wetzel'sAuto.com.
Oh, goodness, it's a busy place around here, but it is also busy out on the highways. I-26 eastbound at exit 101, the right lane is blocked. Still working that earlier tie-up in Malfunction Junction, getting that cleaned up. Ashland Road at Bush River Road, Alpine at I-20. Highway 1 at I-26, an accident there. I-26 westbound at St. Andrews Road and Broad River near Piney Grove Road. So do be careful out there this morning. And we're looking for a high today of 58, 65 tomorrow. But it's 33 right now in the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$8:34 on a Thursday morning. It's just occurred to me, normally at this time we have Brian Edwards, and poor Brian got bumped last week because we were breaking Juice Wells information, and this week I've not talked to him, so I have to check and see if he's still interested in joining us each and every Thursday to talk a little basketball. But until then, we've got lots to get to. Transfer portal, and right now talking a little NIL as well as kind of honesty and transparency between players and coaches in the new era of college football, and several of y'all weighing in on that. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Jen, who have we got up here?
We have Bob.
Hey, Bob, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Good morning. Wanted to share a talking point that I don't think that has been brought up yet about NIL, and ask you some rhetorical questions to get my point across. One is, what was the spirit of NIL when it was created?
You got a Preston, you want to tell? I've got, mine would be a long-winded answer.
No, keep going. I think this is, I do
He's
like that
writing it
question.
down.
Good
Go
question.
ahead.
I'm writing it down.
Okay. It was created for the players to share in the revenue that the university was getting. So when NIL went into effect, would you think that I know that the universities cannot, by law and by rule, participate in it, but would you think that the university would cut their fees and cut their budget to allow fans the space to participate in the Garnet Trust and things like that? Number one, that's a food for thought. Number two is this new proposal we're having of an extra $30,000 per half of the athletic students, which I like. Again, I'm all for compensating the people who bring in the money. But who do we think that's going to pay for that? Do we think that the universities and the sports clubs are going to say, hey, we need to make room for this in our budget? Or they're going to raise the fees in order to cover that and to cover the rest of their budget? Your thoughts?
All right. Thank you for the phone call, Bob. We'll answer these here and let you go off air so we can get to a few others. But real quick, your thoughts on what he asked.
Yeah, so appreciate the phone call, Bob, and I am in agreement with you. So the first question, what was the spirit of NIL? And to give you a slight nuance, NIL wasn't created to share in the revenue that the schools were producing. NIL was created to give the athletes the rights that every other student has on campus, to allow them to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness simply. Now, I love the way you said the idea of spirit, because it was not created to create inducements or as a recruiting tool for players to come to a university. Now, has it become that? Yes, we've seen that. But in the spirit of it was for players to be able to capitalize on the rights that everybody else has as a citizen of this great country. And so the spirit of NIL has definitely been
Broken.
To be
shattered.
Great word. That's it. So so that's the first question. Yes, to answer that question.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, NIL was, when it came to me, it was real simple. This allowed you to go to your high school or to go to a local field. Let's just say it like that, and to have your own camp. To be able to use Preston Thorne, the University of South Carolina football player at 21 years old, to go home, make a couple dollars off of his name, image, likeness by going back to Summerville and having a camp for 20 young defensive linemen and charging, say, $100 and being able to make, $2,000.
Yeah, that's
that's it. Like
that's on a general scale, but also maybe even a larger scale. Say if a national company wanted to
endorse
you, cool. That could be your thing. It was the spirit, and I love that word, and I think that's something I'm going to keep coming back to. The spirit of it was never intended for it to be used as an inducement for somebody to come play or for somebody to stay at your university. That's the development that maybe some people might have seen coming and somebody predicted, but that does not have anything to do with what your rights as a citizen should have been.
The one other thing, we'll try and get into this maybe a little bit more next week, because I think a lot of details still have to come of this. Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, proposing almost a new division of football is what Bob was kind of referencing there as it pertains to. I don't even know kind of how to start with this and trying to break it down very quickly, but almost a new subdivision where to be a part of this. So anybody can be a part of it. Miami of Ohio, Toledo, whomever, but you have to commit $30,000 essentially to every athlete. And then there's Title IX requirements involved. I don't mind it. We're not going to get into it today. I don't mind what he proposed, what Charlie Baker proposed. I don't know if it's feasible. I don't know. There's a lot to it. You have to you have to promise $30,000 a year to each individual athlete. So you do the math on that.
In an educational trust, which is a whole nother situation. There's a lot of details to that, but I will say, going back to Bob's first statement, that money was supposed to come from the revenue sharing, which is going to increase with the creation of the college football playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. So essentially, it's going to be a pay-to-play system, and some people, if this proposal is not going through, I can go ahead and tell you that. That proposal is not going to happen. It is the first time that the NCAA has even acknowledged that this is a possibility. So things are changing.
803-404-6100. Jen, let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Chris wants to weigh in this morning. Chris, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Good morning. This is 107.5 The Jen, right? I'll make sure they got the right station.
She is thrilled by that. Yes.
100%.
Yep. Okay. I want to make sure I was talking to the right people. Anyway, I agree with a lot that's been said about what NIL has turned into, and it's become an inducement situation. And so we got to live with what we've got. And what we've got is we need more money going into the Garnet Trust or whatever means that a person chooses to contribute to this. And the point I wanted to make is I'm a Garnet Trust member. I pay a small amount a month. I think a lot of people have the idea that, that's for the big donors and that's for, the big bucks that can come in and stuff like that. It's not. If we had however many million Gamecock fans out there, contributing $25 a month, we'd be up there with the rest of the rich schools. But the point I was trying to get to is I'm wondering, and I don't know if you guys ever get to talk to the folks in the Garnet Trust, I'm wondering if we shouldn't have some billboards out or some advertising or stuff like that mentions to people, hey, $25 a month, $50 a month, whatever you can do. And I think that would go a long way toward making us competitive with the Alabamas and the Georgias and the folks that do have the massive, income to be used for NIL. And I'll leave it at that and listen to your response.
Appreciate the phone call, Chris. I'll be honest. I'm a good driver. Aside from looking at my phone way too much, I have seen I don't really look to notice billboards. I do think there's one that I've seen in the morning coming down 126 into Columbia that I think has had it said like the X Factor, and it had Xavier Legette
on
there. I
also.
think that was for Carolina Rise. And again, the only reason I noticed that is because it's about 5:40 in the morning, 5:45, and it catches my eye. I think Garnet Trust has billboards up. Look, people know. I mean, no offense, Chris, but people know about this. My thing is what we asked last week, Friday, after you left on Friday morning, and we need to hit a break. But I'll ask this question again. Does what happened with Juice Wells and how that situation played out? And it's not every player is doing that. Does it make you not want to give your money to an NIL when you see a situation like that? We'll talk a little bit about that. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. When we come back, we're going to give you one more chance to win TSO tickets. You're listening to the early game.
The game will be at the beach, in the PD, and the Midlands. That almost covers the whole Palmetto State. In Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Like the mythical Phoenix rising from the ashes, Arizona's surprise victory at Pittsburgh has elevated the Cardinals all the way to number 28 atop my feeble 5. Next come the Jets. Hey, their defense has produced a league-leading 3 safeties. Chicago, New England, and Carolina, well, they bring up the rear, and they're looking forward to the draft in 2024. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be 21 plus in President's Day. We're lawful to wager. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Help is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Early game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This is not TSO music. That's okay. Wu-Tang, TSO, very similar styles. Hey! Did Wu-Tang ever have a Christmas album?
They didn't have a Christmas album, but it did have a song that had some sleigh bells in it. That was on the third album.
Oh, yeah, okay, the third
the
album.
W album.
Caller number 6. We'll take caller number 6 right now. You can win a family pack of tickets. Sorry, was my mic off the entire time? Or
I know it was not, but I was just showing the Zero Res folks how I can control your microphone. I can control your destiny.
So all that great stuff I just said, nobody heard it.
No, they did.
All
I
in
just
an
cut it
attempt
off
to
for,
show
like,
your
2
power
seconds.
is literally what just happened. Like me trying to do a radio program, you trying to show everybody the power you wield around here.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a very professional program we run from 6 to 9 in the morning. Take caller number 5. Now I'm freaked out. I have to keep looking down to see if my mic is on.
Or you could look up because we have that fancy light, remember?
Good. Yeah, that's true. All right, caller number 5. Caller 5. Go watch some TSO Friday night, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Not Wu-Tang. 803-404-6100. How you can get in. I tell you what, Jen, if you can, I don't know if we can do 2 at one time here, but let's get to Casey real quick on NIL as kind of one of the final thoughts for today. Casey, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm doing great. I needed that laugh, so I do appreciate that you do.
Thank you. How you doing? What you got this morning? And we've lost Casey. I don't know if he did that on purpose or if Jen has hung up on a second person this morning.
No, the phones have been a little glitchy this morning.
Okay.
And so no, we'll get him back.
Well, he needed that laugh, but unfortunately we eliminated him. So what happens when you laugh at Jen around here? You get cut off instantly. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning. Final few minutes. Tyler Head will be in next. Preston, just kind of final thoughts on this as we hear this. A lot of this kind of stemming from the word that Mario Anderson may.
Yeah.
And as I now probably need to refresh all items of social media to see if there's anything updated. Mario Anderson may enter the transfer portal. Now, one thing just to tell you about, and South Carolina does have 3 running back transfers lined up. So we all talk about like, oh, you're losing guys to the portal. Don Chaney Jr., actually, his father played at the University of South Carolina, has been a running back at Miami. And I hate to say this, but I believe, yes, he was the one that fumbled against Georgia Tech that set up. Okay. Don Chaney is set to take a visit to South Carolina. Rocket Sanders, the running back, who a lot of people thought might have come over last year with Dow Loggins, is set to come over or set to take a visit from Arkansas. And then also former Georgia State running back Marcus Carroll, who ran for 1,350 yards and 13 touchdowns this past year, also is a guy who could take a visit. Gamecocks need help at running back, much like they need another guy at quarterback. So for everybody goes like, oh my goodness, Mario Anderson, why would you transfer? What are you doing? Well, it looks like South Carolina is at least lining up some guys to maybe come in and fill that void.
Yeah, and I wonder if this conversation, because it's been interesting to hear the reactions to a lot of these situations, but it seems as if the reaction is definitely more poignant when it's somebody who's contributed as opposed to some of the other players who have decided. It's like, well wishes, we appreciate you, go along your way. But if you're somebody who's contributed, then people get a little bit more in the feelings. And I would just say it's all the same. Some people are leaving, some people are going. And I've reiterated this concept. People are leaving for personal reasons or professional reasons, but they have their own reasons. And also people are staying for some of those same reasons. So people are coming and going, and we'll just see how this thing shakes out towards the end.
It's not been as crazy of a week as I thought it may be.
I knew there was going to be like that because the instant people were going to hit instantly. There may be some funds that trickle out, but I had a feeling it was going to be
well,
like that.
And I don't just mean that for South Carolina, but when the first thing we see on Monday morning is Kyle McCord entering the transfer portal, Dylan Gabriel later in the day, those two are pretty crazy. I am glad to see this so far, but I mean, there's still, by the way, now over 1,000 names in the transfer portal. And what I really wish, and this really needs to be publicized, I think, moving forward for kids, how many of these kids do not find another home? Because you're going into the portal thinking it's going to be easy. programs are also bringing in high school recruits. At some point, spots, this is musical chairs. There's not enough spots for everybody. You've got an influx of new talent coming in. And this year in particular, there is no limit to signing high school players. You can sign as many as you want. You just have to be on August 1st, I believe is the actual date. You have to be at 85 scholarship players. However you want to get there. Deion Sanders is about to play with that number all over again. But I think that number of kids that do not find a new home or don't end up, honestly, back at the FBS level that maybe thought they were, needs to be publicized. Because then maybe next year kids go, maybe I should think a little bit harder about this.
Yeah, and that's you're right. There is going to be information in there. Sure, there will be some stories. But as I've said before, nobody that's 19 or 20 thinks it's ever going to be them. And that's the tough thing. You can put all the numbers out that you want. They'll always feel like, yeah, I know that happened to him, but I'm going to find a place, obviously. And so that's sort of the hubris of being in. That's the great thing about being 19 or 20, but also we've all been there.
You got it all to yourself.
Let's go. Let's go.
It is the Preston Thorne Show tomorrow and Monday. I'll be tuned. I'll be listening. I got to take Austin to school, so I'll be listening to you. But good luck.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you on Tuesday. Jen is off on vacation now for a week as she, I think, is back on the phone with Casey. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Y'all
Casey, we appreciate you.
107.5 The Game, broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
With over 100 online casinos.
Y'all have a good day. Take it. Not y'all, just everybody, live stream. Y'all take care. We got to get out of here.
What's up,